Damn glitching in the beginning. Can't even get a smooth start to start off the damn show. What is up, everybody? Thursday night in the house. Welcome back, everybody, to another Toss One Back Thursday. Of course, it is myself, Rod, and Todd there with the bright sun behind them because we bring the sunshine to you at home every Thursday night. So at least for a few more weeks before it starts going back down again. So earlier this week, I think it was Tuesday, was the longest day. And then it starts going the other way now. We start having the sun and stuff go back. So, yeah. But Indiana, what's this, like 9:30 almost still when it gets dark there now? Like as far as being dark?
Yeah, it's pretty close, about 9:30 now.
Yeah. So not bad. And Mick's in the house. Cheers, Mick. Good to see you up late. He's definitely dark because he's 5 hours ahead of us over in the UK. So,
what time does it start getting dark there? It looks like it's starting to set a little bit now.
Yeah,
behind you.
Where I'm at, it's we're like, it'll be, what is it, like 8:47. So here it'll be dark probably here about a little after 9.
Okay,
we're starting to go back now. I think the most it went was like 9:10. And then it starts going back the other way. So being closer to the east, of course, like this. But where you're at, like that used to be great when we used to play softball because at 9:30 it was still light.
Right.
For the lights didn't come on to like almost 10 when we played softball there. So
before I got this job now, I used to be able to go get 18 holes in after work pretty quick, pretty easy on the way home. Now I don't have time now just because I don't get back across the river close to home in time to play. Maybe 9 holes, but not a full 18 like we used to.
So I feel like right there on that spot of the border, kind of where you're at, you get a nice play because you're getting Eastern time zone, but you're kind of getting a little bit of that central daylight zone. So, which makes it nice.
What time does it start getting daylight there?
Oh, here I think it's the other way, right? So I think here it's like around, I'm asleep usually, but I think it's like 5:30 or so.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I was just say get a little bit earlier.
I have no reason to get up that early. So
just wait when it gets, in the fall time and the winter, when the time changes. It'll be dark at 4:00 there, probably 4:30.
Yeah, when it starts making the switch over on stuff. So kind of crazy. And then Paul's in the house. PA Brew News. Cheers, Paul. Happy
What's up,
Thursday
Paul?
to you. CB in the house. Cheers on Todd. Killer day. 80 sunny all day. Well, nice. I know you're happy about that because you and Todd are pretty much in that same weather pattern where you guys have been getting scorched with the heat. So we were actually 69 today here. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 69. Yeah, it was
69.
The Bill Clinton, 69. So, it felt good. Of course, never mind. I'm going to get off that.
That's what she said.
CB's cheers to McT. I can let that keep rolling and rolling and rolling. So, nearly 2 a.m. here. Went dark at 9:30. So, he's 9:30. So, where he's at is kind of like where your zone would be kind of here. About 9:30 at night, that darkness hits.
Yeah.
When I'm off and fishing until can't see the tie and not lately.
Nice.
CB, cheers, fools.
Gilbert.
Yeah, 5:30 a.m. Walking nice. I look forward to the dawn so I can go home. Yeah, so it's kind of, I'd have trouble. Like Paul works through the night. I don't know if I could ever do a role like that. I'm trying to think if I've ever had a job. Well, I never had a full 8 hours job. When I first did the radio DJing back in college, you had to start on like a shift of either 12 to 3 or 3 to 6. But that would just screw up your day. I can imagine the whole 8 hours working and then going home because I'm like I need like the darkest of the dark usually to sleep.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like any type of light, I'm up. I'm gonna wake up. So it's like you ever see that movie Insomnia with Al Pacino?
Oh yeah.
And it's like I'm like I'd have to go in the closet to sleep if I was in Alaska like that. Like there's no other way I could do it. I'd have to be like that. Like he was struggling.
Yeah, that would be tough.
Corn is coming in strong, son, says Gilbert.
It's actually actually it's not corn this year, it's wheat.
Hey, there's a grain crunch with Ukraine, so maybe he's making some money there on the beer.
Or yeah, some kind of grain or something out there. I don't know what it is, but it's not corn this year.
Yeah. Cheers from Rod in the house. Rod X. Cheers, homie.
What's up, Rod?
Yeah, 69, baby. Put impossible, right? Put impossible. Yeah. I just saw Bill Cosby got, I guess they I don't think it was charged because it was a civil type thing, but he just lost another thing or something, and they're fighting from some teen from back in the day. So I guess it doesn't end for him. But I'm like, I saw Kevin Spacey just got like a thing over in the UK. Like, dude, you guys are rich as hell. Just go like live on an island somewhere where nobody can just see you anymore.
Right?
Like,
yeah.
Still trying to go out in public, you're gonna get noticed for shit. Just chilling, Rod. About to crack open a couple beers and relax on this Thursday. Roofies and 69s. I've been told, yeah. At a Bill Cosby party. Could have. Well, it could have been a Hefner party too, because all the Playboy thing now about Hugh Hefner since he's died, all these stories are being told about that, and this is like, I don't know why people seem surprised. Like you think something was happening there in the Playboy mansion. 12 hours, but I've been a night shifter since I was a little kid. Yeah, 12 hours. Yeah. I just couldn't. I'd have trouble sleeping on it. I say that my body would probably adjust to it, but I just feel like
right
at the beginning it would definitely be tough.
I feel like the older I've gotten, though, the harder it is when it's light out. Like you were saying, to go to sleep in the mornings or something when the sun was out.
Yeah. Like my wife, she'll go to sleep like with the sun out with no problem. It's just like,
oh yeah, that's what she is too.
Yeah, like
yeah, it would make me different.
I walk out at 7:30. She's sleeping. Like, how are you sleeping with the sun's coming through in the window? The shades will be up, and the sun's coming in the window. She'll just be there sleeping away. Like, how do you do that? I mean,
it's like you talking to me.
What is this magic you use? Dee in the house. Cheers.
Double D.
Early. What up, Rod? Hey, Emperor Todd. Shannon is not there. Cheers, all. Yeah, I tried to bait her to join us.
Yeah,
but she's day drinking tomorrow. I'm like, tomorrow's a new day. That's got nothing to do with it now. It's tomorrow.
She's pussing out on us. Using her words. That's right.
Like, warriors, they're out in the play. She wasn't going for it though. She wasn't going for it. Looks like barley. All cornfields here have barley this year. It's not a bad one to be in. Like I said, I know Ukraine, I think, was number 2 for wheat and everything. So there's probably a market out there for farmers to do the barley.
You're probably right, Gilbert, because usually when they do like soybeans or something, it usually is greener.
Yeah.
So that probably could be barley for sure.
And you got my buddy Dave there in the chat with beer in front.
What's up, Dave?
And if you guys listen to podcasts, that is a podcast you should have as part of your podcast portfolio. Your PP podcast portfolio. Beer in front. Dave always has great interviews, great breakdown on beers, great fun, always a great show. So if y'all don't have Beer in Front and you're a podcast listener, highly recommend adding that into your rotation. And Dave, hopefully you're feeling better. Dave is actually going through a battle with COVID right now.
Oh shit!
And it's like the second time he's had to go through it. And I was
damn.
Like, second time? Like, wait a minute, you just had it. Like now it's just like we got to rinse and repeat. Like, what's going on? Like, I got to start being all. I mean, I was already still wearing my mask kind of in a lot of spots, but I'm like, I'm not looking to get. I mean, I got it mild the first time, and that was just more of a pain in the ass. I don't even want that anymore. So,
all right,
yeah. But Dave's got it better this time from what he has told me and shared on his Twitter page. So, hopefully, you'll get through that here in the next few days and be back up and running.
Yeah, hopefully.
Trez in the house. Cheers.
What's up, Trez?
Great to have you on, homie. And Trez is hopefully you're having a good night. Or you don't know if you're working right now or hanging out or what, but Trez has been out there. I see you around the town on Instagram, popping in and out spots. So, you know, Trez is out there making the motion and stuff. So great to have you on board as well, homie. It's like suicide bombers are promised Vestal virgins. I mean, why? They've blown their battle. Right? They don't know what they're missing anyway if they're virgins. So, you know.
Well, true.
Have to drink more to kill the virus. That's what I'm talking about. have you met my alcohol recipe, right? Put that on the virus and see if it can hang.
Bad, yeah.
And Dave's got good beers because he's in Chicago. Speaking of Chicago, we also got Big Daddy in the house. So
Big Daddy.
Cheers, homie. Hot in Chicago, sipping a Finnish long drink. Well, there you go. So we got 2 Chicago represented right now. So if we get JT in here, it'll be a third for sure. So Chicago right now is holding the majority a little bit. The corn's starting to get up in the fields, my friends. And there's JT. Spoke about the devil. The devil's here now. So we got 3 Chicago in the house. So we're going Chi-Town tonight.
JT.
This is, Rob, work. You gotta catch the show. Well, I appreciate that, my friend. And yeah, I know you're usually doing some work during this time and stuff too with your patients and everything. But always great to have you on, and always love, being a member there. Anybody who's looking at the membership stuff, Trez is one of the members of the channel, so appreciate that as well. And anybody interested in becoming a member, you can definitely see the details there in the description also. But I need to crack open the beer. And the beer that I'm going to crack open right now, because in lieu of some of the hotter weather, although we didn't get as hot, like we didn't hit the triple digits, we did get warm at a point, I've taken it over to the lager side of things. And so this is one that I picked up, which was maybe a Rod J deal. I don't know. It was 4-pack for $6.99. You don't usually see it there, but it was the last unboxing or so, and it is the Brewery Rukeller Dunkel. So a nice dark lager, crisp, refreshing. Review will be up on this one here probably next week or so. 6.2% ABV. Brewery does some decent beers, so if you're familiar with them, you know that. They also tell you, like on the back, 38 degrees to serve it at as well, which is nice. I keep these in the cooler. And if you ever keep a cooler, get yourself one of those little thermometers or meters you can put in there so you always know what the temperature is. And this one's right out, so it's in good shape. So I would have cracked this baby open and get a pour. Todd, I don't know what you're drinking over there, if you want to share with the class.
I am going in the other direction. I am trying to clean out my fridge a little bit and drink some older stuff. So this is the 2017 vintage Black Note Stout from Bell's.
Ooh, that's a good thing to clean out right there.
Comes in at 11.2%. Yeah, I've had a few. I'm like, I need to really start drinking some of these before they go south on me.
Well, that one you can keep for a while, though.
Yeah, most of them that are in there are stouts, so that's what I'll be drinking for a little bit. Probably on some Thursdays, just to start getting rid of some of them.
I'm thinking on the back of the label, does it say shelf life unlimited on that one? They usually put that on their stuff.
No, it just says packaged on 10/5/2017, but I don't. Oh, wait a minute, shelf life unlimited.
Yeah, so that's one you can sell her there too. So
yeah,
but there's no wrong time for the Black Note from Bell. So
I just grabbed it and I thought, yeah, I'm gonna have a stab at that one tonight.
Decent little brewery out of Michigan, and they did a decent little thing that I saw online for Juneteenth as well. And they did it the right way with some of the celebration and all that kind of stuff, and not like Walmart trying to put ice cream or something out there. So shout out to Bell's and Larry Bell doing a great thing up there as always. Big fan of the Bell beers, so check out Bell's if you get a chance. Gilbert said drinking on a Long Slice Brewery Sky Bison APA. Don't see a lot of the American pale ales as much nowadays, so that's kind of a nice little pull as well.
Old school there.
Yeah, can't hate on that. JT, I'm drinking a Hello Staff by Metropolitan. It's a nice Swickle lager, so he's got a nice lager going on as well. It's lagers in this type of weather for a lot of people. Lagers are the way to play.
It is.
Yeah. Gynecologists and pizza delivery guys, wages differ, and they have the same job description. They can smell their work but not taste it. Mick with the jokes. A little bit of hitting with that little UK humor there. So appreciate that as always.
That's pretty good.
I can relate, Mick. I was a delivery guy for a while in the 90s. Oh, you got Blake in the house. What's up, Blake? TV cheers. Breaking news: 90% archaeologists are female. Because bitches love digging up the past. Cheers, fam. We got all the comedians. All the comedians are showing up right now.
Coming out of the woodworks tonight.
Break out to a comedy show tonight. Just wait till Erie shows up with her jokes.
Oh yeah.
Actually, just left the crew a little bit ago. They are over Warzone in it right now, so we had a little bit of fun before starting the show and checking out the new map. Did you do the new update to Warzone?
I haven't.
Yeah. You know, Trez, I got to catch up with Trez. I'm like, Trez is a PS player, so Trez plays PlayStation and stuff too. So, we used to play Madden back in the day against each other.
I think I might get the new Call of Duty when it comes out, though.
In October? Yeah.
Just to get back, just get back in the loop again.
Yeah, it's a Modern Warfare version, so it should be pretty decent. My son just got his master's in archaeology. Donner's in the house. What's up, Donner? Cheers. It's been a while, my friend.
What's up, Donner?
Took my mom to lunch today. Had a very good beer with a silly name, Monkey Knife Flight. Very nice. I haven't heard of that one. And y'all want to know about some of the whiskey game? Check out Donner Pass Whiskey as well, who shares some good stuff there on his channel too. So a lot of good people. A lot of good people here tonight.
Monkey Knife.
Woman in total control herself, which now you're just making jokes out of the letters for the words. Mick may be a little buzzed tonight. So yeah, you talk about a smooth, chocolatey type lager, coffee, a little bit of a coffee, a little bit of a body for type lager feel. This one's pretty decent.
Can't go wrong with the brewery.
No, it's got a light toffee appeal to it with the beer itself. What's that chocolate coffee? Not really too much chocolate, more toffee than anything that has with this one. It reminds me of the candy still, like some old school candy you would pick up as a kid. That'll be in a wrapper or something. Yeah,
you said chocolate and it was dark. It looks dark, so I was like, okay, I could see that. But that was kind of a weird. If it was for the lager to be dark, you know.
Yeah, no, that was. They use darker malts for it, and sometimes you do get more of that chocolate sensation out of the darker malts. But with this one, you get more of the toffee type feel.
Because usually Dunkels aren't quite that dark, but I like a good dunk. I like a good Dunkel though.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of get a little bit of a bitter and like a coffee in there from the darker malts, and it's kind of got a little bit. There's like a reddish type brown color to it. So you can see a little bit down as you get,
as you get a little light.
Yeah.
Well, as you see a little bit of the light glaring through in the back, you can kind of see the change of it a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a good price. That's a good price for the brewery beer.
Yeah, like I said, it was $6.99. It was down. It was on sale down from. Forgot what it was at, but it was like I looked on here and let me see.
I'd say at least $12.99.
The package date was 2/4/22. So when a beer like this, you're usually at least 6 months out that you're still in good shape. So I'm like, I'm going to get it and see what it tastes like, and it tastes pretty damn good. So something to be a little bit not as heavy as some of the ales I usually drink, but a little bit more of a body to it. It's got a little bit of a. In lieu of Paul, a little bit of a thinness to it, but it's a lager, so you kind of expect that going in. It's pretty decent.
Nice.
Let's see. James JT said, "I love a good Dunkel." Yeah, I do too. So, lagers was something that took me a little bit longer to get involved in because I was more of an ale type person for sure. So now that I've had some more of the lagers, I've definitely enjoyed them.
I feel like that's kind of a beer style that's not talked about much, like a Dunkel. You don't really see a lot of people doing a lot of Dunkels.
Not here as much. You have certain brew like where JT and Dave Beer in Front, Big Daddy, where they're all at. They have like Dovetail that does a lot of lagers, so I'm sure they're getting stuff out of there. And but a lot of the breweries, obviously in the States, everything's such a big IPA push. That's why I always say, like, do people really want IPA, or do people just really only know IPA because it's thrown at them all the time? because something like this would be a nice one. I know the beers I sent to Trez, I sent him 4 different styles he had to have before, he said, and made him want to go out and explore more for the other type of beer stuff. So it's a matter of what your exposure is to really enjoy it. The bigger your universe is, the better you enjoy your beer journey.
I think it kind of goes hand in hand. I think the IPA was kind of thrown down your throat at one time to a point now where that's just kind of what everybody has gravitated. Not everybody, but what a lot of people have gravitated towards.
Yeah, but I think a lot of breweries, like if you open up a brewery, and we were talking about this on a couple other things, and I do like the Twitter spaces and stuff too, and we've had a couple brewery people in there, but talking to just in general, it's some breweries is like you have to have an IPA on there as kind of one of your money makers to be in business.
Right.
Because people are going to look for that because people are so used to the IPA stuff too. So there, the brewery wanted to do other stuff. It's almost like they have to have the IPA or maybe a couple IPAs on there because that's what people are going to ask for at this point. So
I feel like as a brewery, you have to have X number of styles, kind of a broad range of just base stuff, like an IPA, a stout or porter, which I know sometimes can be thrown in a seasonal type where you don't have them as much in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that should be a style that you should have to choose from. And then like a lager of some sort or, a Pilsner of some sort that might gravitate towards more of the non-craft beer drinkers that maybe not so hoppy. You know what I mean? Like a wheat beer or a Kolsch or something like that that's fitting more for the people that aren't looking for that in-your-face type beer.
Right. Yeah, I think if you set up a brewery, and obviously it depends how many taps you have that you can actually put out there. But if you only have a limited number of taps, then what you're saying is on point. You got to have a setup where, one, you got to have a lager out there because that's going to be the easy drinking beer that people are more accustomed to. And for your people that come to the brewery that might not be into the craft field yet, a lager is a good way to get them into something, and also is a way for you to introduce them to your brewery, so to speak. So like if you go to Rheingeist, you won't have a Budweiser out there, but you'll have some type of Rheingeist lager similar to that to try to get people.
Right.
And then you're going to have like your IPA because that's the hot thing right now. So it becomes a situation of how many IPAs do you have or which ones do you have. So if I go to, like I said, use a Rheingeist as an example, and you've been to their tap room before, they have like 10 or 15 taps, and Trez, he's in Cincinnati, so he probably knows too. But you'll have like 7 or 8 will be all IPAs, but different types of IPAs.
Right.
That they'll do there, right? So
yeah.
So you have to have, a certain thing. But I think you're right. Like if you have an IPA and you have like a Pilsner as your lager, and you have a porter, or sometimes it's like a stout, like a Guinness or something, and you have something like a wheat ale, something easy drinking, or a Hefeweizen. Those are going to be easy ones that you can get on there that people cannot find something or probably go. And then you can kind of branch out into other type things from that point. But it's a matter of setting up, what you have available there.
Now, the brewery that we visit quite often, Our Lady, they have, I think, 10 taps of their own. They brew that they have on tap at any given time. Although the last time we were there, they were down to 7 taps because they ran out of 3 beers.
Mm-hmm.
But usually they are probably, I'd say, 4 or 5 IPAs at any given time.
Yeah.
So about half is IPAs. But then they usually have a Dunkel most of the time. Hefeweizen is kind of one of their mainstays. A wheat beer for the most part. Then it seems like in the wintertime they will do usually like a stout and a porter. They have a really good porter, which isn't on tap at the moment. But right now they got like 2 different types of West Coast IPAs. And they have a couple of like sessionable IPAs right now, like at 4.6% or 5%-ish type IPAs. So.
And that's like a newer type thing too. There's more breweries that are doing more the sessionable type ones because not everybody wants to drink the full higher ABV. If you're at an IPA, you're usually somewhere between 6 to technically now up to a 7.4 to 7.5 and higher is now considered double IPA. So you have people that there's like some breweries, they do half pours now. So you'll get an 8 ounce rather than a 16 ounce. So having a session IPA is a nice way for people to actually come out and enjoy too. But that's got some pretty good competition on how you're actually putting some of those beers together as well.
Right.
The thing is, like, it's to run a brewery. I mean, you have to be in tune with your patrons, in tune with the industry, and like anything else, you know, you kind of have all this stuff happening, but beer drinkers can go fickle on certain things at some point too. Like we looked a couple of years ago, and the brewed IPA, and everybody started making these brewed IPAs, and like everybody was like, done, we're done. And like always, you don't even hear about them now, really. They're like just gone. Like
I was gonna say, that kind of went by the wayside quick.
Right. It's like with the way to Pet Rock, like you have maybe 1 or 2 breweries that might have one now. The big thing at this point is kind of funny is the cold IPA. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but the cold IPA is basically making an IPA but using a yeast like you would in a lager, where you're going to basically ferment it in cold temperature.
I have heard that.
Yeah, and basically it's replacing what at one time would be considered like the India Pale Lager, the IPL. Yeah. So then it's kind of like, well, is a cold IPA something really different, or is it just the IPL repackaged? But if you like a lager with like a hoppy type feel, that's kind of what the cold IPA is taking over, except before it was a lager, but now it's an ale. And it's kind of like we're just kind of remaking the wheel possibly with this one. But I've had one cold IPA that was actually pretty tasty, but I've had IPLs before that I've really enjoyed too. So it's kind of like, are we just, you know, restructuring things here?
It's kind of like a rebranding of it. Just let's put a different title on it, and it's kind of the same beer, but it's not. But it is. But it's, you know, one of those kind of things.
And I think you'll see more of those as we go into the summer months, where people are actually doing those now that are coming out. But JT says, love a good dunkel. Indeed, lagers are very diverse. They are. It's kind of like when people think of the lager, they just think of a lot of times the macro type stuff, where, you know, say a Pilsner or something like that and everything. But when you look at the different styles in it, like you have this, you have like the Baltic Porter is actually a lager. And people, you know, don't realize that sometimes. There's so many different things. There's short spears and lagers, and you have a lot of good stuff in that lager style to really enjoy. So I like it. That's the fun thing with the whole beer thing, getting into the different things you have available.
Honestly, it'd be kind of cool just to see, because I would think if you take that same beer, it's the same exact beer, but you call one an IPL and one an IPA. Mm-hmm. I would think the IPA is probably going to sell more, and it could be the same exact identity, like a cold brew IPA, like you're saying. It could be the exact same beer, but I would think just because of the label, it would sell more.
And there's your marketing angle, right? I mean, basically, you're taking an IPL that may not sold as much as a style, make it a cold IPA. Essentially the same thing, although you have the other qualities mixed up, but you're basically making the same type of thing. But now it's an IPA. Oh, that's a new IPA. Let me try that one. Rather than, I don't really want a lot. Like, it's a mind type thing. So again, this could have been done by some intern in the back room, came up with this idea. And someone said, you know what, let's launch that.
Let's do it. Let's see.
What do you got, a cold IPA? I want to make a cold. And it's just started catching on. And it's just like, but really, you're not really switching that much. I mean, it's like this line is so tight between you two right now, between the two styles, but marketing can push one over to the other side a lot more.
That's for sure. Interesting.
Yeah. Big Day says, Drake Dunkel from Crust Pizza Brewing, former brewer for Hofbrauhaus Chicago, lights out Dunkel.
Nice.
Nice. Well, where Todd's at, just south of him, he's south of there, Cincinnati. They have the Hofbrauhaus there too.
Yeah,
so they probably have that. And Cincinnati had the first Hofbrauhaus in the country. Rosemont. Hey, what's up, Arizona Timeless? Cheers, Arizona.
What's up, Arizona?
Cheers to you. And I just saw your alma mater actually got a trademarked for the. So now it is the Ohio State University. They have the trademark for it. I'm like, really? Like, no one else can say. Like, I'm down from the John Hopkins. Like, they can't say the John Hopkins anymore. Like,
That's crazy.
That is crazy. But those Buckeyes are crazy sometimes.
Like nobody else has trademarked it, so let's just do it. Let's see what happens here.
It's such a common word. Like, how can you trademark that? But
I know, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm like, it's like, are you not able to use that at all, period, in a sentence? I don't understand.
I mean, if I said the toss one back Thursday, do I get a cease and desist letter in the mail?
You might. You should do that next week and be like, the, in quotation marks, the, toss one back Thursday.
Get a letter from Columbus, Ohio.
Ding dong. We're going to have to take this down. You can't do that.
Gilbert says, I'm so not cool. Always love lagers. We have Old Flame and Godspeed for lagers. So that's funny with you being up in Canada, Gilbert. My wife last week decided she wanted to start drinking some beers again. And she's like, you got any beers for me? I said, well, all my beers are pretty much craft, but she doesn't usually drink. And she'll drink half a Weizen, but she liked more of a lager type thing. So I ended up picking up some lagers for her. And the one lager I picked up was Moosehead Lager because our store next to us had Moosehead Lager in there. So got a little Canadian representation in the house. Well, I think I got like one bottle left from what she had there. But yeah, so we had some Canadian. Recently, Metropolitan Brewing was branded on social media. 15 years brewing and not one IPA.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Yeah. And there's just, if some breweries, they had that success, they had that track record, they don't have to actually get into making certain things, which that works out great too. I like to go to breweries that expand to different stuff. So the brewery that we were here, when we first got here, we went out for like a lunch thing, and then we had like an event there for my wife's new job, and it's all a European style brewery. So you didn't have IPAs on the thing there. You only had like basic European type style. So you had like the Pilsner, you had Box, you had other styles outside of what you're commonly seeing. It was nice. It was refreshing. It was just something different. A lot of people got to experience other beers they wouldn't usually get other beers. People loved it. People were saying how happy it is because when she came here, because she runs the company that she's at now, they want to do a welcome party for her. So they asked her, where do you want to go at, or blah blah. They gave some ideas talking about breweries. She's like, well, my husband does a lot of stuff for brewers anyway, for breweries. So they sent me a brewery list and like, which one do you think we go to? And I said, well, easily this one here because it's something different. And it was a blast, and people were just like enjoying the different styles of beer they had, and that based with the menu that was kind of a European type menu worked out well. So
it's nice. Yeah, I kind of feel like 450 North has kind of backed themselves into that corner.
As far as
seems like all they're doing is like the slushy type beers.
Well, that's what they're known for, really. I mean, what do you think of anything besides 450 North? Really, I mean, outside.
Well, no, I mean that's true, but they also used to do some nice IPAs, but they aren't really putting out as many as they were before because of the slushies. They have taken off, I guess. But I'm thinking, I don't know. I mean, I feel like you mentioned 450 North. You're just going there for that one particular style. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I'm talking about, like kind of backing themselves in the corner. Like, I don't know the last time they've ever had a release on a stout that I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the whole idea with them. If somebody says, 450 North beers, slushies, what comes to mind first. It's kind of the same thing if you think of Treehouse. If you think of Pliny,
yeah, I mean, that's
Pliny puts out other beers, but everybody just thinks of Pliny the Elder or maybe Pliny the Younger, not realizing the other stuff they put out that's good quality.
Right.
Or they think of Julius from up in the Northeast. So it's kind of like you can get pretty much targeted and fit into a niche for a certain type of beer, and I feel like 450 North might be.
Oh yeah, they definitely have done that. Yeah, I mean, you kind of think that with like Other Half also.
Other Half, you think all the different IPAs, double dry hop type stuff they're usually doing.
Hop Butcher seems to be more IPA forward with their stuff or whatever,
But they do, that's just the Hop Butcher does make some good stouts and stuff though too. But
yeah.
It's a matter of, in fact, some of the stouts I've had have been better than some of their IPAs they've made. So it's kind of like they're leading with the IPA, but they have other good stuff they could actually be doing.
Well, that's what I was saying with like 450. They had a couple of sour IPA, or they were produced. I think they still do every now and again. They produce, they have a line of sour IPAs, and they were pretty solid. I thought really good, but you don't really see them come out with them quite as often as they were.
Right.
I feel like they just they'll have 13, 14 cans on a release, and I'd say 10 of them are the slushies.
Yeah.
Maybe 11 or so. I don't know.
Well, the way people line up to come get those things, they got no reason to change right now.
Right. I mean, that's true. I mean, who can blame them in those regards? Because they do, especially when they are getting some distribution, but you're going to pay $10 a can for it, like in, up in Michigan or wherever some people are getting them.
I mean, they're like Fast and Furious. We'll keep making them. We'll keep making them. If you keep coming, we'll keep making them.
I almost wonder if they have like a wheel of fruits, like a fruit combination of the wheel, and they just spin it. Okay, strawberry, where are we going to throw in it now?
Yeah.
Blueberry, spin the wheel again. Lemon, okay, this is our next slushie. I feel like that's what they're doing.
They're back to rolling the dice on stuff. You never know.
Like it's like, how many combinations can you possibly? I mean, there's got to be a bazillion combinations possible.
Yeah.
But it's like, eventually, you got to at least have to run out at some point.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like Urban Artifact up in Cincinnati. Everybody kind of knows them as the sour, tart type, wild type brewery. And where their beers are based out of that for a good amount. They have other stuff that's still uses that same strategy, but it's more like to the IPA type feel or some other different things. And unless you go to the brewery, you never really see them out on some of the other stuff. And it's kind of like they're kind of in that, but that's their market. So after a point, when you build a name there, you almost have to stick with it.
So would you rather go to a brewery that is known for X style of beer or go to a brewery that kind of does it all?
I would most likely rather go to one that does it all.
Me too.
To see different things. Now that being said, if it was something like I was out on the West Coast and I was going to Russian River, I'm going in. I mean, even though they're known for Pliny, I'm still going in. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. But the more fun I have when I go to a brewery, it's kind of like, and they're like, oh, I was like, yeah, you know what? I usually start off with a flight. So I usually say, well, let's do 1 through 5 or 1 through 4, depending on what their flights are. And then I'll do the next one down. And I'll do the next one down.
That's usually what I
sample through a lot of their beers. And if I find something that's good after I do the flight, then I'll just get a pint of it. So
that's usually what I do too, for the most part.
Yeah, I want to go through all of them and kind of see what they're doing on the different things.
Unless there's something I know that they have that I want for sure.
Oh yeah. Like if you heard they had something there and you want to get you definitely
Right.
Yeah. Like when I go,
I feel like Other Half or Treehouse, like you're saying, Trillium, whatever. Like I feel like that would drive away a portion of your chance, of people buying beer because, for instance, they don't want an IPA. Like Shannon wouldn't go to a brewery if they were just an only IPA. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like she would go for sure, but she wouldn't enjoy it as much.
Yeah, it's you feel like the upfront part would be kind of limited. For instance, and I'll go back and use Rheingeist. For the longest time, in Cincinnati, Rheingeist was seen as an IPA type brewery.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were an IPA fan, you were thinking, well, am I going to find anything? And then when you go there, they got like 12 beers on their board, but 6 may be IPA, but they also have the stout, they also have the porter, they also have these other ones, and you're able to find other things to actually try. That you actually find out that, hey, I do like these other things, so I don't have to go with just the IPA. So Mantry was like that. Mantry is like 20-something taps at their place, but you would just think of stuff in the store. You get there, and it's like, oh, this key lime this or this Russian that, and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, I don't even know where to begin right now.
That's kind of the way Sun King is out of Indianapolis. It's like they have their distribution stuff, and it's like, it's okay. It's not bad. But you go to the brewery, and you're like, this is the shit you should be canning because this stuff is phenomenal. Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, think about the stuff that we did when we went to Braxton Labs.
Oh, right, yeah, exactly.
Braxton wasn't putting that stuff out there. You had to go to labs to try it, and you're like, "Why isn't this being done?" Or you would find stuff that were being limited in cans because they were doing small batch processing. So that's the thing. It's kind of like I've gotten to the point where I actually do a lot of the beers here at home when I'm doing the reviews of that. But there's a point too, like, what am I not missing if I don't go to the brewery? So.
That's true. Yeah.
It's not being out there. So I need to go to more of the breweries, especially around here thus far. I got invited to go to one thing. I didn't get a chance to go because I was out of town. But they're supposed to have some other stuff done at the casino here. So I need to start getting some more brewery videos out. So that should be coming to the channel at some point here.
Nice.
I think the only one I went to that shot of video was at Heavy Seas thus far, which I was kind of disappointed some in Heavy Seas because I was used to getting Heavy Seas where we were. And I thought it'd be like this more, I don't know, bigger type brewery or more laid out brewery compared to what we had in Cincinnati on some spots, and it was just like little warehouse room in this little thing, and it's kind of like
yeah. You said it's kind of like a hole in the wall type place, wasn't it?
Yeah. Considering like how much they have, and it's just like that's kind of interesting. I thought you guys would have more stuff going on here, but beer was good, so I can't complain. And the taps were less than I thought they would have there too. So it's a little bit different of experience in the Baltimore you've seen so thus far.
I'm like you. I would have thought Heavy Seas would have been more elaborate or bigger scale than that. You would think.
Yeah. Now, if I ever go back and sit down at Guinness, besides taking pictures out there, now Guinness is totally different. Guinness is what you would expect Guinness to be when you go out there and you see all the tanks and you see the way they're designed and stuff. So, but Shark's in the house. Cheers, Shark. Yeah.
You still hadn't been there though, right? Or you have?
I've only been there to take some photos and share some stuff on Instagram. I haven't gone inside yet. They reached out to me for me to, let them know when I come out again and check out some of their stuff. So
okay, nice.
I just haven't done it yet. It's weird. They're only open Thursday through Sunday, so they're not open the other days of the week. Some of these other breweries around here are only open like Wednesday through Sunday or Wednesday through Saturday, 4 to 7 or 4 to 8. Like it's weird hours. It's like what we're used to. Like every day there was some that would close on a Monday, but there was always like other breweries that were kind of open. And here it's kind of scattered on some of the schedules and stuff. So it's definitely not as much of a brewery city as we were in Cincinnati.
We had a brewery like that in Louisville. They just recently, when they first started opening their tap room. Mm-hmm. Which when I say their tap room, it's, I don't know, it might be 10 feet wide by 20 foot long. It's just a little bitty. It's definitely a macro brewery, but they may have like 5 or 6 taps now, but they make some really good sour beers.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, when they first opened, they were only open on Saturdays from like 5 to 9 or 4 to 9 or something like that. And then a couple of months ago, it's like, okay, we're going to start opening on Fridays now from like 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, whatever it was. Now they're open on Sundays too. So now it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But during the week, they're closed for the most part.
Which for some of the smaller breweries I get, because they're not making a ton of big barrel type stuff and everything too, right? So you're seeing some of these smaller breweries that are they're a little bigger than your Nano, but they're not really big to make a huge impact yet. So they got to work the hours that are best for them and also that they can provide the beer for the people that come. But it just shows, like, as you know, Cincinnati kind of spoiled me a little bit because we had so many different things that were there. So,
that would spoil a lot of anybody, really.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people. That's what they tell me. Like, people just don't realize just how much. And they're still adding stuff. They had another one that just opened up. Some people told me out there. So, it's crazy. Me too. When the Dunkel, DD said Dunkel's always good. Low IBU beers are best for starters. Well, yeah, for a lot of starters, the bitterness can actually be very impactful. So having the lower IBU where you have more of that malt sweetness, that can actually be a little bit better there as well. Although you have something that might be kind of a little bit malty, a little more sweet, but also there's some things like, say, a barley wine where that would be a best one for a starter because that's more, I think, of an acquired type taste. So some of that also plays into it too. Making a red nice and malty, very few true reds out there. I agree, Didi.
Yeah.
Great Lakes has a good red ale. The Conway's Irish Red, I do like that one. But you don't see a lot of the reds as much. And I always enjoy when I do see a nice red ale.
I feel like you don't see hardly at all any red ales for one, but brown ales right behind it too. You don't see a lot of brown ales, or at least it seems like there's starting to be a few more than there was, but that's still kind of a rarity to see one.
Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit more brown ales, I think, that have been done out there. But yeah, that's one for the last few years. It was weird because you didn't see a lot of it. It was just like one of those things that I don't know if a lot of people really here, like say in the States, have developed enough of a taste for it. Like if you're over in England or UK, overseas, I feel like there's definitely more of that brown ale feel that goes with it.
Yeah.
So here in the States, it's always been kind of like, Newcastle was the one that started the brown ale revolution or so here. but there's still some people that haven't been fully impacted by the brown ale. But like Mad Tree used to make a really good brown ale. And there's a couple other breweries I've had. So whenever I see a nice brown ale, I try to pick it up because I want to see what they're doing with it. I enjoy the style. I think it's a good style.
Yeah, I like it too as well. I've been trying to pick them up a lot more here in the last 6 months than I ever did before, for sure.
Yeah. And Donna says, so work in Davis, California. All German lager has a great dunkel. Pretty unique these days, but they started in the mid-'90s with UC Davis in town. At the brewing school, they have skilled labor. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, and you always hear about people say, well, like you talk to people in the brewing industry, like brewing lagers are tougher than brewing ales. I don't know if it's really tougher or is just more skilled. You have to, it's a lot more you have to focus on when you're making lager versus an ale. And with them having like that out there, like that you said, skilled labor, because it does take that skill. There's so much you have to watch when you're doing the lager. Didi, you're always seeing the red ales out on the market, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Pisses me off. How many IPs do you need? Right? And that's the one thing. Moving here, like when I have to actually dig through kind of stuff when I pick up beers now, because I would say the beers that I see here in Baltimore, probably about 60% are IPA, 60 to 70 even. So it's like IPA. Oh, look at brown ale, IPA.
Right.
It's like,
yeah.
and then it's like, and then they go crazy. They got a lot of the doubles, they got the triples, they got all this other stuff. But it's like, I was surprised as hell when I saw Dragon's Milk on the shelf. Like, oh, you got Dragon's Milk and you got more than one? Like, do people not know it's here? Like, and so you see these other type of things, but it's very, very heavy IPA. There's a fact, right? IPA City. Yeah, it's thrown out to all the people there. I mean, that's the one thing I miss, like about something like, say, at Jungle Gyms, because you had so many different beer from around, not just the country, but around the world. They were very good at getting stuff in from overseas or something like that. Or if you go to Party Source, they had a lot of good selection from all over, where it wasn't just the IPA. And I think that's what Cincinnati got, and I'm sure other cities like major other beer cities, Chicago, LA, whatever the other ones. Whereas if you're a beer drinking city, it's a lot more out there and you're more involved in getting that kind of stuff. So with the German heritage Cincinnati had, you're always going to have, I feel like, the impact of lagers there, which is nice.
Yeah.
Only a couple IPAs. I love the breweries that wide spectrum of beer styles. Unfortunately, there isn't many of those. Yeah, because everybody's kind of, it's like the whole cookie cutter, like building a home. Everybody starts reading it from the same manual at some point.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And a lot of people are afraid to do that. And that's one thing I've always liked about Braxton, although Braxton, it wasn't just the IPAs. They would do the Braxton Labs, and it would be kind of pastry stout, some special type IPA, some special type fruit, whatever it may be. They were smart about how they set up Braxton Labs as a small batch process. So we're going to do this here. We're not going to use the big tanks, because if we don't sell it all, we get stuck with that. But we'll use the small ones. That'll be our test market. And they go from that. And they were able to really introduce you to a lot of different things. The thing that sucks about Braxton Labs that I found out now, I guess, I don't know if they reopened it, but in the Party Source, they kind of closed it off for patrons, because they couldn't do it with the whole COVID thing. It kind of hurt them for having people and all kind of stuff. But they're still making stuff out of it. It's just hopefully they reopen it, because that's a great spot to just hang and chill.
So Braxton is still making stuff out of there then?
I think they're still making stuff out of there. Last I heard, it's just it wasn't where you had people being able to go there and enjoy.
Couldn't go there and drink. Yeah,
right. But they're still making beers out of it. But it's so many different things you can experiment. And then they got the other one now. They got Braxton. They got another location. I can't remember the name. They put in Northern Kentucky. They put one down in Cincinnati as well. So they're doing pretty well for themselves. All you do is put IPA on a can. It will sell, even though it smells a stout. Well, the funny thing about that, Shark, is what was the one that we had? Was it Three Floyds? Black is Beautiful. And we and it was supposed to be like a
yeah,
it's supposed to be like a stout. And then both of us were kind of the same way, because you were like, I'm not going to tell you until I hear what you think about it, type thing. You told me, and I'm like, this isn't really a stout. This is like a black IPA.
It was totally
it was totally wasn't a stout. It was just like, but they put stout in a can, but they give you an IPA, and it's like, and 340 does a lot of IPAs, so I would have felt better if they would have called it a black IPA.
And right,
it was miscoded how they had it out there. So
I feel like they just threw in the towel now and was like, we're just gonna throw the label in the can, because at that time it was the big. Everybody was kind of jumping in on that, and it was like, okay, we're just gonna label this can, even though we got something here in the vat. We're just gonna dump it out and just put it in the can and call it.
I definitely feel beautiful. I feel like they mailed it in. They're like, oh, nobody will know. Like, no, people that drink know this.
Yeah,
this is not a stout. Oh, you're killing me, Smalls. What the hell is a cold IPA? Flying Monkeys released one, likely a miss. Yeah. So now Flying Monkeys has a cold IPA as well. So obviously, Eric, you heard the comments I had on that. We were talking about a little bit as I get caught up here. But yeah, that's going to be a thing. I think you'll see more through the summer. Now, the one that I did have, like I said, it was a good one. I think I have the review already up on the channel with the cold IPA I had. It was the first one I ever had. But it's very much like an India Pale Lager. So it's basically, just more of that hoppier upfront type feel to it. Let me see here. Panasonic or Quasar, same damn TV. I remember we saw both back in the day, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's what you do. It's kind of like if I go to Trader Joe's, I'll get a Trader Joe's type beer, and I'll look on the label, and it's actually brewed by Unibrew out of Canada. But it's like, if I put their name on the label, it's going to cost me a lot more.
You're right.
So Trader Joe's puts it on at $6.99. If I put their name on it, you're paying $13.99. So it's like, it's just as good. Just as good. Give it a nutshell. A lager has hopped up as an IPA, right? IPA stout. Maybe one day.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised we haven't seen that yet. Honestly.
I mean, technically, we kind of have seen it. So one of the beers I really enjoyed from Stone Brewing that they did a few years ago, they ended up discontinuing. I think they couldn't get enough sales on it because I think it was enough people didn't get into it. But it was their Mocha IPA.
Yeah.
So the Mocha IPA was kind of like a stout and IPA put together. Really enjoyable for me. If you're a stout and IPA lover, I think you would really enjoy it. That's when I did a review on the channel as well when that was out. And
that was a pretty good one.
Yeah, I was like, I wish they would release it back. That was one of my favorite beers from them. So you got the coffee, you got the hoppiness of the IPA, you got everything to put together. But I just think it was, again, one of those acquired tastes where they didn't have enough in the market to sustain going ahead with that one. So that'd be a great one, a small batch. Stone, if you're listening, small batch that son of a gun, and I'll buy some more. Cheers. So I got to stick to the light IPA. Sessionable
IPAs.
Yeah. Go with the pale ale. Yeah. Which isn't really too much more off of the IPA, except it's just less the hops. Moosehead Lager is always a go-to. My favorite in the Moosehead Pale Ale, a more malty, old-school Canadian style pale. I never had the Moosehead Pale Ale. I was actually surprised when I found Moosehead Lager at our local store here because I haven't seen that in ages as well. But the wife did enjoy it, though, so she's a fan of the Moosehead Lager, so we'll probably have more of that. I don't know if I've ever done a review on that one for the channel. I'll have to check. If not, I'll have to grab a bottle and do that.
I'd look for that. I don't know that I've seen it very much here lately either, honestly.
Yeah. And that's the one thing, being back on the East Coast, because growing up in Jersey, when we were in school, like we always had like Moosehead beer, some of the different Canadian stuff that would come through all the time since we're on the East Coast here. $10 per can, that's not going to happen. Definitely not a Rod JT.
Right?
No, $10 a can. I can get like a 32-ounce can of a Crowler here for $10, like with other half, which isn't bad.
For a Crowler, yeah, that's pretty good right there.
Always love the pales, but I do really get into those dry hop crushers. Yeah, I like that hop feel. Russian River Blind Pig. Yeah, Blind Pig's another one that's known out there. But if you say Russian River to the novice to intermediate, I don't know, kind of the person first coming into craft beer or someone that's been around craft beer, I think Pliny is what they're going to think of if they've actually are getting into it. But those that are in it, like Blind Pig would be one to check out. Fellas, when we go into Asheville, North Carolina breweries and play golf? Yeah, we did talk about that.
I know.
You know, I actually couldn't go this year. I think there's a beer brewing blogging conference that I still need to go to at some point, but I think this year it is in Asheville this summer, but it's the same weekend my mom's birthday. I have to double check into that, but in August. But they have a thing where basically I'm part of being a blogger and all that kind of stuff where they bring us down. You basically get like this blogger type thing, and they bring in like breweries. Like last year, they brought in Sam from Dogfish Head, and people come in and talk about the beers. You sample the beers, you do all kinds of stuff, and it's like you pretty much record videos or write about the beer, however you want to do it along those lines. And I just haven't been to it yet, but I need to do something to.
That'd be pretty cool
to get to that. Yeah, but I forgot it is in Asheville this year. And speaking of North Carolina, Wayne's in the house. Wayne's Beer Delivery. What's going on, Wayne? Cheers. Wayne's representing Carolinas. Yeah, I haven't checked out Wayne. Make sure to check him out on his channel and also on his podcast as well. And what's up? What's up? Hey, Rowdy Rod and Terrific Todd. Who needs curtains anyways? Cheers, fellas. Yeah. Well, if you ask a lot of women nowadays, they don't need curtains. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. No, he didn't.
Oh, chat cheers to y'all, Wayne says. Didi, this fall sounds good. Yeah, because Wayne can meet up with us there if we go to Asheville. And probably get Brian to come up from Georgia, too. Is that a poster of Children of Corn movie poster? Now Didi's getting on to the Children of Corn. Oh, Wayne's, I agree, the fall.
Didi, I can't win.
Didi be getting mad if we play golf with him. He'd be like, come on, pick it up.
I know. Yeah. Too many shots. What are you doing?
We have to get Didi drunk so he can bear golfing with us. So, Rod and Todd, I'm drinking a Bud Light Next Zero Carb. Don't judge me. What's up, Emerson? It's been a while.
Come on, Emerson.
No judging zone. No judging zone.
How is that a zero carb beer?
Yeah, what do you think of that? It's kind of interesting. I've seen it, but I haven't, tasted it or seen it anywhere here. I just seen like the commercial and some of the write-ups about it. Let me some good red, amber, and brown ales, indeed. Totally agree with you. And I'm trying to think the Mount Carmel has a brown ale. You can probably get Mount Carmel.
Oh, yeah.
They have a really good brown. You should check that out. Every time I get it, I'm like, why don't I drink this more? It's really good.
I feel like I have picked theirs up here at like Total Wine or something over in Louisville.
Yeah. Yeah, if you haven't had that brown ale of their stuff, I would definitely recommend that. Hey, Wish You Were Beer Show. Cheers. Good to see you. We're going to have Wish You Were Beer on coming up at some point. We're kind of getting our calendars put together. But if you haven't checked out Wish You Were Beer, check out their show here on YouTube as well as their podcast. They have a pretty fun podcast there also. So check them out too. And they did a nice collab a few weeks back, actually about a month or so back, with Dave from Beer in Front too, that we were talking about.
There you go.
Making a good lager or pilsner, you can't hide anything. If you can brew a great pilsner, then you're a great brewer. Yeah, I mean, there's fine tuning into it as well. Yeah,
I feel like if you can do some of the basic stuff, but do it well.
The yeast is so fickle. It's fickle yeast.
Kind of like a lager pilsner, which is kind of your base styles, Yeah.
And you gotta ask for a red, and the person brings an amber. There's my right eyebrow. I had a restaurant one time in Trestle, know this place. In Cincinnati, there's a place called Prime, where it's like a steakhouse. And we went there for we ended up going for Thanksgiving dinner to that Thanksgiving thing they were doing. And ordered like a beer. And it's, this one, and it's like, which one is this? And they go, it's a stout. Oh, okay. I'll take a stout, because stout has a nice flavor appeal if you're having it with turkey, right? Like it has a nice little thing. You can kind of have a nice feel having a stout with the turkey. They bring it over, and I'm tasting like, this isn't a stout. And they're like, yes. So I was like, no, this is like a, what you call them? Like, now it's slipping my mind. It's, what's that, the category we always talk about where it's like the catch-all?
Dang.
I'm trying to think offhand. It's shit. Look at my phone here. Ale.
I feel like we talked about
Strong
this
ale.
before.
Strong
Oh,
ale.
strong ale.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
a strong ale. And they're like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah." Wait. First of all, yes, I'm sure. But it's like it says nothing like the chocolate, the coffee, anything that you would have with the stout. This is definitely more of that. Which the strong ale still was okay to have with the turkey and stuff, but it's just like I feel like you should know the stuff you're serving. That's one of the things.
Right,
And like
right.
the server didn't know, and they were like, "Well, the guy he came in and told the manager this is what it was. Was that guy didn't know what he did, or your manager didn't know what he did? But this is definitely not the thing there." So, to Dee Dee's point, there is a difference between the different styles, but some people don't even know. People that serve them don't even know. So for that person that brought you, they were probably told that was a red ale. So just saying. That person may not have been a jackass. The person that told him to bring it to you might have been a jackass.
You should have done the Forrest Gump. I might not be a smart man, but I know what a stout is, and this is not a stout.
That would have been good. That would have been good. Oh, but the dude's like, when you're ready for something, they bring something different. It's like, nah, this isn't right. Yeah, yeah. Cincy and D the spoiler. Yeah, I mean, you leave other cities, even if you go like, just saying you go to travel and other stuff. It's kind of like I feel like, which I almost liked when I was there because it was kind of a hidden type gem. But unless you're going to somewhere like maybe Denver, Seattle, somewhere up in the Northeast where you have the different brewing types, it's like you just had like so much there at your fingertips for the beer type thing that
Right.
you go other places and you're like, yeah, they got no casein, but they don't have this. They don't. It's like you almost get spoiled real easy. And the thing about Cincinnati is, and twice the last couple of years, they've been ranked number one for beer through one of the data companies because you have a wide range of beer and you also have beer at a great price. Like you literally have places, and you've been there with me where you can get at great deals. I could walk into a restaurant that we had there, and it'd be a 25-ounce IPA, it'd be $4
right
off tap. And it's like, I don't know why you're doing this or how you're doing this, but I'm not going to complain. Usually an IPA like that, you want your IPA glass, but they're going to give it to me in a mug. Guess what? It's $4. I'm going to take it in the mug. I'm okay with that. I'm going to let that slide.
What was that place down the street from where you lived at? The Buffalo Bob's or whatever
Buffalo
it was?
Bob's. Yeah,
You used to get some pretty good beer deals there too, didn't you?
Yeah, that's the place I would get like I would get like a $4 thing, and it'd be, they would have, if they had Zombie Dust on tap, then they would give you like a 25-ounce one, and it would be like $4 or $5. It was just like, it was just a nice regular restaurant, down home restaurant or whatever, but it was just like, you guys could be making more money than you're actually making on these, but I'm not going to correct you on it. It works for me right now, but it's like, but then if you go over to Cincinnati, some places, it's just like, you would have some deals there as well. Like where we were at, working downtown, we had a couple bars near us, and they were all half price happy hours. So you were getting like 12-ounce drafts of good craft beer, and it'd be like $3. And I know places where you're paying, a 12-ounce draft's going to cost you $6 or $7.
Yeah.
So it's like, not only did you have a lot of beer, but you have beer at a reasonable price for a lot of stuff, which that's one of the reasons made Cincinnati a great beer city too.
In Indiana, we can't have per se happy hour.
Yeah, because in some states, I know they'll. Yeah.
If they do a happy hour, it has to be for the duration of however long they're open for. Like it has to be from the start to the end of the day.
Yeah, I remember years ago, and JT and Big Daddy would know this. It was, they might know this, I should say. I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago. Whenever we were up in Chicago last and talking to one of the things there, they had just gotten happy hour at one of the restaurants they were telling me at, and how we were talking about how they didn't have happy hour before and how they had to do it because of the new rules and stuff. So it's kind of weird because each state kind of guides it their own way. So, but like you said, you didn't even get Sunday sales on beer till a few years ago.
Well, yeah.
So it's kind of funny.
Odd.
What's up, Todd? Trez said too.
What's up, Trez?
Yeah, there's a ton of IPA. It isn't just, yeah. Cold IPA, India Pale Lager, exactly. And that's what people start to look at it like they're like, you just gave me what you didn't give me before, right? It's the same thing.
Right.
Just repackaging it.
Slap the old label on there and we'll see what happens.
It's like that skit from In Living Color with David Allen. Was it? No, it was when they would do the two guys selves. That was David Allen Greer and the other guy, Tommy Davidson. When they be in
yeah.
No, that was King. Which one was making the deal?
No, was it the you're talking about like the two snaps or whatever?
Not the snaps, but they would do like the Homeboy Network. I think that was Keenan and Damon, maybe. When they were like,
yeah.
David Allen Greer and Tommy Davidson would do the guy with the car. Where you got a car? He's like, a car? And he'd be like, damn. But it's like the Homeboy Network. They're like getting deals there.
Homeboy Network.
Done with marketing. Everything is marketed. Everything.
Yep.
Good old Carlo V, still my true go-to if it was a case of Crushers. Sipping at JP's Casper White Stout. Love this beer. White Stout's one of those things, too, that's kind of getting experiment. I don't know how that's still going over in the market. It's kind of like, I feel like it's dying down a little bit. Like a couple years ago, there were more of the White Stouts I would see, but now it's kind of, even Sagatock did a Neapolitan White Stout. I'm like, why?
I couldn't get past the kind of screwed with your head a little bit because you see it not thinking of the stout flavor because it was a blonde type beer. And then all of a sudden it was like, what? Wait a minute. What the hell just happened here?
Yeah.
Not that they were bad. I just couldn't. It's kind of like your eyes were just, like they say with food, you eat first with your eyes, then you do with your mouth. But
yeah, ever said Bud Light next to Discover Zima? Bud Light next is probably Zima repackaged. don't tell Erie that. Yeah, that probably is. What happened to all the Zima? Budweiser took it.
Yeah, Budweiser's got them.
I'm drinking a Day Late Short Session Hazy IPA from Revelry Brewing in Charleston, South Carolina. Very nice.
Funny thing is, if you're like, oddly enough, though, Budweiser sells it with a piece of Jolly Rancher for some reason. I don't know why, but
or they have Jolly Ranchers in the bottom of the can, adding the flavor as it's coming up. Yeah. You want to drink this from the can. Don't pour it in the glass because you'll lose the Jolly Rancher. Oh, no, my brother. I'm not that type of golfer to ride people up my that's where they're to have fun and drink. Well, that's my man.
There you go.
Yeah. Sorry to spoil the shizzle IPA segment, but I just poured a Dominion City Sunsplit Hazy IPA. Hey, I still got IPA. In fact, the next beer I'm going to crack open is actually an IPA. So
nice.
But it's a triple IPA. Speaking of which, and this is one that you will see tomorrow that was uploaded for the review, but it will be the 2022 Sierra Nevada Hoptoman IPA. Get it now if you see it because it's flying off the shelves, and it comes in at 11% ABV. I don't believe they bring these out every year, so
I was going to say, I feel like I haven't seen it for a few years.
Because even on the label, it says 2022 appearance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's interesting because our label, which I'll hold it here. Tell me that label doesn't remind you like Jim Carrey, like as the Riddler or something, or the Mask character.
Or the Mask, yeah.
I feel like it's like a Jim Carrey type thing there. But the one in the UK that I've seen some of the guys have is a different type label. So
interesting.
Theirs is a little bit more, not as cartoony as ours are, but we're Americans and that's what we do. Yeah, they're more proper overseas.
Stupid Americans.
I'll have to ask Craig or Peter or Harry about that. Like, you guys are more proper, I guess.
Yeah.
Like put a cartoon guy on my beer label. What's wrong with you?
I'm gonna grab another beer. Hang on.
All right. So for those of you that want to see the review on this tomorrow, it'll be up at 12:15. But I will tell you, if you are a hop head, you'll want to get your hands on these. This is pure 100% dankness, resiny Of course, you get the clarity with Sierra Nevada because they filter their stuff there, but it's a very nice smell. You get the pininess. You get the pininess like kind of the old school type feel. You get the fruitiness, but you get that dank quality underneath of it. I would say it's kind of in the same fashion towards the Sweetwater dank beers, but it's not as dank. The Sweetwater are more dank than what this is, but you definitely get that type of feel to it. And it's pretty smooth. If you're like a Hop Slam fan, then you'll probably like this too if you like Hop Slam.
Nice.
Yeah. So Kevin said, "You had me at dankness." Yeah, it's 100%. And like I said, I won't spoil the review for tomorrow, so you guys can check that out. But it's good. It's good. I wouldn't say it's the best triple IPA I've had, but it's definitely solid. And Sierra Nevada is not going to really treat you wrong. I mean, they're just such a great brewery to experiment, or if you're new to beers, to really check out. And they deliver. They always deliver. And for those of you that have been watching the Trip in the Woods videos I've done, that series was phenomenal. So, and the funny thing is, the one I had posted earlier today was the Tequila Barrel one, the Otravez. That was probably my second favorite of the bunch, behind the Rum Barrel Quad. And that was like only 6.4 ABV. And it was so tasty.
I actually watched those videos today while I was at work. I caught up on a lot of YouTube videos today while I was at work.
You got two Bobs coming over. We've been noticing you watching a lot of YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, have you not seen Rajay's channel?
Well, that's kind of nice because you really don't have to really watch them that much. You can just listen to it,
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing, too. For those of you that like to listen, if you do a podcast rotation, I have added the replays to the podcast channel, so you can always listen on that as well, too, if that makes it easier. There should be a Z-Major bourbon barrel.
Oh.
Don't put any crazy ideas out there.
No kidding. You know, one thing you didn't do tonight, you didn't pull up on the beers on Untapped.
Yeah, I didn't pull
everybody's.
I was a little lazy here. I mean, I could pull it up on this other one and kind of read them off too, but I didn't pull up the other computer for this one.
Oh no, I don't. Yeah. No, I don't. It don't matter to me.
Actually, I get to read them off my phone here too. Let's see. So let's see here. So I had the Rueller Dunkel earlier, and that one had an average rating from everyone of 3.86. So almost a 4 out of 5, but only 230 people checked it in. So like I said, a lot of people didn't really probably catch on to it as a Dunkel, because the brewery in itself will usually draw attention to the beers. And only one of my friends have had it, and they gave it a 3.9. One person purchased it at the brewery I see here. Let's see what anybody say anything. No, not really too much I see there. Did my one friend say anything? Nope, just purchased at the brewery. So I wonder if this is more something they were doing out of there. But like I said, I got it here in Baltimore. So maybe it was something a lot of people didn't know about. Like I said, you put the brewery on something, they usually do a lot of beers. If I take a look here at the Optimum, right now, average rating 3.95, 90.5 K, so 90,500. All my 150 friends that have had it, average rating of 4.13. On here, as far as what it says, a group of hopheads and publicans challenged our beer camp brewers to push the extremes of whole cone hop brewing. The result is this: 100 IBU whole cone hurricane of flavor. Simply put, Hoptum is the biggest whole cone IPA we have ever produced. Aggressively hopped, dry hopped, and torpedoed with our exclusive new hop varieties for ultra insane flavors and aromas. Resinous, new school, and exclusive hop varieties carry the bold and aromatic nose. The flavor follows the aroma with layers of aggressive hoppiness, featuring notes of grapefruit, rind, rose, lilac, cedar, and tropical fruit, all culminating in a dry and lasting finish. One of people wrote here. These are the sort of beers that make Sierra Nevada who they are. Yes, a proper Westie, big, bold, clean, dry, and bitter, sweet caramel malt, citrus and tropical fruit, pine, woody, and floral. Session strength, 11%. I love to see session strength at 11%.
Session strength, yeah. Okay.
That was one of my friends, Sam Smalley, who put that one out there. Fantastic beer, exceptionally well balanced. So deliciously bitter. Excellent. Big beer that finds balance through big flavors, complexity, smooths it out nicely. Long live this beer. Agreed. So, yeah, some pretty positive overall. Lasted a 6-pack. Such a good value for a $10 pack. He got a better deal than I got. Mine was $12.99, and it's a 6-pack, by the way. But he got it for $10. So, shout out to Brian Smith that's undercutting the Rod J deal. That doesn't happen every day.
Yeah.
Got some booziness when it was colder, not super cold, but went away as it warmed, or maybe just as I drank it. I definitely like it, but I don't love it. So that was from Jack there. Like I said, it's for me. I enjoyed it. I like it. It's like I said, it's not a top one for me, but it's definitely very solid. I think I gave this one a 4.25. I think out of 5, so it was pretty decent. But yeah, that's what we were looking at there for that beer. But I definitely get it if you see it.
You're right, though. With Sierra Nevada, they're kind of one of the big main name breweries that's still doing very good stuff.
Yeah, you know what you like about Sierra Nevada? Like, they didn't have to chase anybody. They just kind of did what they were going to do. They've been time tested. They've been putting out solid beers for all this time. They're one of the OGs, right? You look back and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you had what Cook was doing with Boston Beer and Sam Adams, but out on the West Coast, these guys are doing it with Sierra Nevada. And they were probably right behind them time-wise because they were kind of like, I want to say late 80s, early 90s, and Sam was like kind of in mid-80s or so, but it's kind of like the inner start of kind of the craft beer type movement or so. And, you know, they didn't say we got to copy what they're doing over there on the other coast. We're going to do what we're doing. And it's been a great run. And not just like, you know, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale is such a good pale ale. Like, you can always have that and just brings you back to the roots of it. Or you get the Torpedo Extra Pale Ale. Or, you know, there are other stuff they actually do now. You know, they have like the Narwhal. That's a great stout. The Imperial Stout to actually kick back and enjoy. And it's kind of like they put the skill and the craftsmanship into the beers they make that make them sound. They make them taste so freaking awesome that it's just like, you know when you're picking up, you're getting a quality product.
Right. Wasn't it like what they're barefoot?
Yeah.
You know, such a good one too.
Yeah. So you mean Bigfoot, right?
Or a Bigfoot, I mean, yeah.
Barefoot be wine. Are they making wines now? I was like, I didn't know.
Bigfoot.
Yeah. So they have that there, and you know, like I said, that their Ultra Vez is a really nice one they do. So yeah, I enjoy checking out the stuff that they actually make. And the cool thing with them is distribution wise, you can almost get them anywhere in the country. I think. I don't know if there's many places where you can't get them because they build up their distributorship all over these number of years that just about every corner of the country has like Sierra Nevada somewhere.
Yeah, I feel like you go in most restaurants and you at least get their like IPA or whatever, you know, something of theirs to be on tap. For sure.
Like if you walk into like a corner liquor store or something, it's going to probably find something possibly. And much success to what they're doing there. I mean,
yeah,
I don't think I've ever been disappointed by a beer I got from Sierra Nevada.
I don't think so either, really.
Clear beers for the win. Yeah, that is a clear beer. So, you know, it's definitely filtered, and that's what they do. And I mean, you don't have to have all craft beer be cloudy and murky and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, they do a good job. Damn, I'm tired. I'm missing words like crazy tonight. Some of your typing skills. That's all right. It's all about enjoying the Thursday night, as you know, with us here as we head into the weekend. I am so ready for the weekend. And hopefully all you guys where you're watching that, hopefully you're not under that, like 70-something million under hot weather right now, like across the country, like down in Texas, across to like Louisiana, all kind of stuff. They're like supposed to hit triple digits on stuff. I'm like, ooh, that is too hot. I just saw earlier this week, I think it was Iran had the hottest day ever on record. I don't know what the temperature was, but it was like 50, 60 something Celsius. I didn't do the whole conversion over, but it was hot. It was very, very hot. So it's kind of like, whew. When it's really hot, you wish you were near a pool, but there's some days when it's so hot, you don't even want to go into the pool. You just don't don't even want to leave the air conditioning. Yeah. And like when Arizona's out in Arizona, they'll get warnings where you can't even go outside barefoot because it'll burn your feet. So, which is a reminder for those of you that have pets and you take the dogs walking, make sure you have them in the grass or whatever, right, in one of those hot zones, because their paws are probably burning up.
I was off Monday for Juneteenth, so we went swimming here, and it was hot.
Yeah,
we went over to a friend of ours' pool, and it was like 84 degrees, whatever. Jumped in, it was like, this is nice. At first, it was like, it's kind of cold, but it was like, nope, this is good.
Yeah.
and you couldn't get out, like you were saying, you couldn't get out without having like flip flops or something on, because the deck would be like, it'd burn your feet off.
Yeah. I mean, I really, because I get to work from home, so I don't really go outside as much. I went out Saturday, but Saturday was like 80 degrees on everything. I went to Walmart to get food and stuff, which I'm not a big fan of Walmart. I think we've talked about it before. I don't like it, but it's kind of like the grocery store we've been going to, Harris Teeter. They're okay. They don't have everything that we used to have, like in grocery stores. So she was like, why don't you just try Walmart? They probably got the stuff you want to get. And damn it, they did have the stuff I want to get. So now I got to start shopping at Walmart, right? Because we end up getting
do what you got to do.
We end up getting these pizzas. And I don't know if you've seen these Stranger Things pizzas they have, because Stranger Things is back now. So marketing, as we're talking about marketing tonight, they came out with these pizzas like based off of Stranger Things, whatever. I guess some of the episodes are at a pizza parlor or something. And there were some pretty damn good pizzas.
Are they good?
Yeah. I ended up getting one that was pineapple and jalapeno. And it was damn tasty. And then the other one we got was the meat lovers, which was really good. But then it's like this other stuff they actually had that they didn't have at the other store and stuff like that. And it's like, I've been missing all of this and missing all that. And, in the East up here where we're at, there's a thing called, you get them now, I think Tasty Cake's down there. But on the East Coast, Tasty Cake was like kind of like your little Debbie type thing. And we the store we were going to, and it's like maybe 3 or 4 different things on this little display rack, and they never really had it. And then went to Walmart, and it was like half the shelves for Tasty. I was like, I'm in heaven now. I can get this, I can get that. Started having flashbacks from being a kid and stuff. But yeah, so now I gotta fucking go to Walmart to buy food. So it's just like, gotta pay the devil at some point, I guess. Devil gets his due.
And nothing else is cheaper than most places for sure too. But
just walking around Walmart, man. I'm mad.
Right? Yeah. Pissed off.
Fair labor.
Like, don't go by that guy. He's pissed at something.
Yeah. So, but outside of that, I haven't been out really too much. I don't really have to, but I was taking some walks like down in the harbor. I shared some photos on Instagram and stuff. But when they got hot, it was like, stay in the house. Not going out there now. So started going to the gym and working out. But now everybody's like starting to freak out. Like, we got monkeypox now. It's got over COVID. Now we got to worry about the monkeypox. Like, monkeypox cases are going up, and like kind of wipe down shit here and there and stuff. It's like, it's like, what is nature doing right now? Nature's trying to keep everybody in the house.
Do you get much of the humidity there, like you did here when you were in Cincinnati?
Not yet. It'll definitely heat up some, because it's like cities are always warmer anyway with all the concrete and stuff, but we haven't got anything like a heat wave come through yet. But it'll be nice because, the harbor is like 10-minute walk from here. So we do get some of that breeze, I'm sure, off of that and everything that'll help alleviate it. But we'll get some of the heat for sure. And we'll probably get some humidity at some point. But I think over the next week, I think one day is supposed to be like 90 and everything else is going to be in the 80s because we have rain and stuff coming through to cool it down. But yeah. But I saw like Louisiana was supposed to be 100 this week. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Nobody wants New Orleans heat anyway. But then when it gets to triple digits, if anybody's been out in New Orleans, it's just like you're sweating. You walk outside and you start sweating. But even just step out the hallway from the hotel and your bee starts running, just running.
Right, yeah. Instantly just starts forming. Like, what the?
You're running around like vampires trying to get to the shade.
I feel like it's just states in the South in general. Because I remember the time we went to Gulf Shores in Alabama, it was like, played golf at 7:30 in the morning. That was raining wet. And it wasn't even 8 o'clock yet. I was like, what in the world is going on here?
I couldn't imagine going to a Baptist church in the South in summer. Oh my goodness. Already the service is going to be too long because it's a Baptist church, but then no air conditioning. Like you see these churches with these fans, they be fanning themselves. I mean, I'd be passed out. I'd just be
I gotta go.
Yeah.
I need some AC or something.
The Holy Ghost ain't helping today. I'm out. But for those people that go, more power to you because I'd be like, ooh, that is too hot.
Be like, I really want to see the sermon, but I think I'm gonna have to pass on this one.
like Jesus has my address. I'll be at home. He'll know where to find me.
You're right.
No way I'm staying in this damn church. No way. But yeah. 55 degrees can cook a steak. So 55, that's Celsius. It was a 55. You're supposed to add 30 and then do a factor or something, but that's hot. I know that's hot. That's probably pushing 100 there. Hit 102 around Toronto. Then Gilbert did the conversion, right? Hit 102 around Toronto Wednesday. Cool down to 89 today. Which you would think.
Cool down to 89. Yeah.
If you didn't have the 102, you'd think 89 be hot. But if you had the 102, you'd like, oh, it's today.
I thought that was funny. Cool down to cool 95 degrees. What? What do you mean 95?
That's why it's always about perspective. You have to put everything
in
perspective to realize how things actually are. So, but no, I still got to finish. I haven't watched the last episode yet of Mayans, so I got that DVR'd. The last episode was like a 2-hour show. I was like, well, it's usually an hour show. I don't got time to sit for 2, so I'm gonna watch that this weekend. And then I started watching Peaky Blinders season 6, which I'm pumped about. And I'm 4 episodes in.
We started watching it this past weekend.
Did you? What did you think?
We watched the first season in one sitting. So what does that tell you?
Oh, you're hooked. You're hooked.
I will say, because we both were kind of like, after the second episode, we're kind of like, yeah, well, I don't really get all the hype. And then about halfway through the third episode, we're like, okay, let's go to the next. Okay, let's go to the next. Let's go to the next. They're like, shit, now we gotta go to bed. Like, damn it.
The thing that I would say that I had at first when I started watching that series, and I think other people had as well, you got to get used to the accents in the beginning. Because I like some of the accents, the way they do it, like the volume will be down, like they say, and it's almost lower. So I had always had to turn TV up to like catch what they were actually saying there. But once you start flying through, you're picking up everything they're doing there. Because then because they're gypsies as well, so they'll start talking like, not like the movie that what you call him did. Who's the one married to Jolie?
Angelina
Pitt,
Jolie?
Yeah, Brad Pitt. Yeah. Brad Pitt did the one where he was a gypsy and he was like, they don't talk that fast, but it's like they still have their little turns. You got to like catch on to stuff sometimes. But
we basically watch everything with subtitles on anyway because she's practically deaf anyhow. So, I mean, not really, but she sort of is, sort of. But she watches a lot of the British shows. She loves like the British shows. So a lot of times she's gotten used to watching it with the subtitles on just because sometimes she can't pick up some of the words.
Oh, so you put the subtitles on when you watch on Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh, I never done that. I never think about that. Yeah. But the acting they doing it, the characters are all pretty cool in there. And now 4 episodes into, I'm trying to stretch out because the seasons you'll see as you see in here, they're short seasons. So I'm like, I don't want to end the new season so quickly yet. I'm like trying to stretch it out some, but yeah.
Well, I was going to say I kind of like the fact that it's only 6 episodes a season.
Mm-hmm.
But in the same sense, I kind of hate it because it is short, but I also kind of like it because it is short. You know what I mean? Like it's a catch-22, I guess.
Well, you had like the first one is 6, and I think one of them might be like 5, and I think another one might be like 7. So it's
balances out,
they're balancing out and everything like that. But the development of the characters is pretty nice on the show as far as how they do that, and you get pulled into the different storylines that are taking place and keeping everything, in focus on what's doing what, who's doing what. And I even got the Peaky Blinders game on PlayStation. So I haven't played it as much. It's a fun game to play too. I mean, I'm all in for Peaky Blinders, so that's one of my favorite shows to watch.
Everybody, not counting you, like my brother-in-law, he says the same exact thing. Like, you got to watch Peaky Blinders. Everybody he talked to is like, Peaky Blinders. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So finally over the weekend, we were like, all right, let's just see what this is all about. And we're like, okay, it's pretty good.
Yeah, another one to actually watch, which is more of a modern show now, is Gangs of London. So that's on AMC that we get. One of the lead characters on that actually came off of Peaky Blinders. So
okay.
They just did the first season last year here that we saw. So the second season will be coming up, I think, later this year. But if you watch that, that's a really good, like more type mob type show.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard that was pretty good. I haven't watched it yet, so we'll have to put that one on the list also.
Yeah. At Baptist Church in Southern Georgia on July 1st, I'd be stealing the dog's water right. The dog don't even get the water probably back then. It's just like, yeah, it can be hot at some of those, like those old ones, like, they still have some of those old type churches that people go to. Like you'll drive like on a trip to go down south or something. You'll pass these churches and it's just like Pentecostal or Episcopalian, whoever it may be. And it's just like out in the middle of this field. And it's kind of like, there's no air conditioning in there. And it's going to be hot.
Yeah, right.
Sunday, I was like, nope, no way. Speaking of nope, I'm looking forward to seeing the new Jordan Peele movie. I don't know if I'll go to the theater to see it or not, but I don't know if you saw the previews for the new movie he's got coming out, but that looks to be pretty interesting.
Yes. Yeah, I do.
I would enjoy American trying to understand Irish Gypsy. So yeah, Snatch is the movie I couldn't think of the name. Yeah, Snatch is where he's like the gypsy type thing. So yeah. But yeah, like when you watch Getting the Peaky Blinders and they meet with some of the other characters that are like kind of the gypsy type characters and some of the slang and stuff that gets used, it's kind of like, what happened here? You might have to hit the rewind or something. But just a great show. So
I didn't even realize that was like a Netflix original until we started watching it.
Well, it's Netflix that we get it here, but it's a BBC original.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. But they made it sound like it was a Netflix original. When you pull it up on screen, I was like, okay, I didn't know that was that. But
yeah, it's just Netflix has the rights to carry it, or so here in the States. So that's like this is like some stuff on Amazon Prime. Netflix has this here. So
right.
And I guess they're about to release the next season of the games. What is it? The Asian one when they were doing the games. Would it get killed?
I never watched it, but I know what you're talking about. God, what the hell is the name?
You never watched it?
Oh, Squid Games or whatever.
You never watched it?
No.
Oh, you should. It's actually
isn't that the name of it? Squid Games or whatever.
Yeah. It actually being not too bad, man. That's subtitle too. That you can do it, or you can watch. You can watch the subtitle to see the original, or you can watch the dub version. Which the dub version seemed to be okay for the most part, but you could definitely tell where it was kind of like watching a little bit of kung fu flick on the weekend.
You're right. Yeah. So, which did you watch? The dubbed version or the?
Yeah, I watched the dub version when we did. I found out about the other version afterwards after watching it. But yeah, I
figure I'll probably go back and watch that at some point. I guess I've heard a lot of people talk a lot of good things about it. I just haven't watched it.
Back in the day, I loved watching a good Kung Fu Theater Saturday.
Yeah.
Just some of the
Or even some of the old Godzillas.
Yeah, the old Godzilla type stuff too. Yeah, yeah. But I'll still watch a kung fu flick. There's Robert Rodriguez's channel that he has on cable. Can't remember what the name of the station is, but they'll sometimes throw like some of the old kung fu flicks on there.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that one is.
Yeah, but back then watching them, they'd be like such dumb, like dumbing down for the American audience. They'd be like, nobody talks like that. He's just pretty good. Like, no one talks like that. No one does that. But in America, we were watching and thinking they talk like that for some reason.
Right.
Meet somebody in the mall. I see you there.
They're like, what's the matter? Are you choking on something? What's going on here? You okay?
Like, check my technique. Like, nobody talks like that. Nobody talks like that. Gilbert's on to Bench Brew and Hops with IPA with Brewer Grown Cascade. I love when Gilbert gets on it. Gilbert just starts rolling with us. I love that.
Nice.
Trent's cracking up. Yeah. But, I know Trent watched the Kung Fu flicks back in the day, too, but it's just like, just the stuff that we would see on TV. And it's just like, I don't know. I probably did that, and I'm probably offended now because nowadays everybody gets offended on stuff. So it's like, no, it's just, that's how you watch it. It was just like, and you would be a kid, you'd be imitating them, doing martial arts with your friends and stuff like that,
Well, that, and you could definitely tell it's dubbed over because it'd be like, the movement of the mouth didn't even match anything as the words were coming out,
It's like, your tiger technique is very good, but check out my technique. Dragon style. But Kung Fu Theater made Wu-Tang, so we got to thank them for that. So.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
There used to be some crazy movies back in the day. But,
Kung Fu Fighter.
It'd be funny. You couldn't. You just be there. You with your friends like that, and it'd be at some point you'd have to start showing moves against your friends. It's like wrestling. We watched wrestling back in the day. Let me try the Final Four on you and see how. No, you get the Final Four. You get into wrestling somebody. You give somebody a DDT in the middle of the freaking room. Your mom's yelling at you. What are y'all doing there?
You're right. Pile driving.
Yeah.
Wait.
Fall on door.
Coming out with your neck all like, what happened? Oh, don't worry about it.
I remember my freshman year in college, we were big. We watched WWE, and one of my friends, he was actually from Malaysia, and he was young, lighter, and I was more muscular, strong back then. So it was like I would pick him up like the Ultimate Warrior all the time. We'd be sitting somewhere like, "Let me Ultimate Warrior." He's like, "No," and I grab him like, "Yeah," I'm pushing him up like Ultimate Warrior, middle of the cafeteria or something like that. Like Ultimate Warrior,
yeah.
So,
that's funny,
man. The fun times we had back in the day. You gotta enjoy the youth while you have it, right? You gotta get out there and enjoy it. It's like nowadays, a lot of kids are inside doing the video games and stuff like that, and stuff.
I know.
Get out and enjoy it while you're young, and then be older like us and do the video games.
Right? Yeah, you got time for that shit later on.
Trust me, there'll be time for that later.
That's right. That's right.
You're young. You use that energy. Get out there and do stuff.
You can't walk outside and see any type of anything going on with kids nowadays.
Yeah. Trent, you bloody bastard. I love when it said that. Yeah. When you watch a Kung Fu flick or whatever, it was like, they had certain sayings they would do. Or when the guy got cut, like you used to watch a Bruce Lee movie, and once he saw blood, you knew somebody about to get their ass beat. So when somebody tried to fight him, you see him get cut, and he looked down there and he
swipe a little bit of the blood. You're like, oh shit.
Or somebody bring nunchucks, and Bruce Lee got a hold of the nunchucks. Oh, your ass is about to get beat. You're about to get beat.
You're like, shit's about to hit the fan now. You did it. You did it now. You did it now.
Start jumping up as a kid. You're kicking shit all over the house. Like, you don't sit your ass down. 5 Deadly Venoms and 5 Fingers of Death. Yes, although The Boy with the Golden Arm was one of my favorites as well. That was actually a pretty good one too. But 5 Deadly Venoms, I actually watched 5 Deadly Venoms I want to say about 3 or 4 years ago. I think it's on YouTube, the full movie and stuff. But I watched that on the Robert Rodriguez channel because it was on. That was a good one. That was Kung Fu there. Yeah. Definitely great times back in the day. It definitely was. It was
for sure.
You know, you look back as you're older, you look back on your youth and all the fun things you got to do. And, you know, the one thing you would never want to do is go through life having regret for not doing stuff you could have done. So, you know, do stuff when you can, get out there, enjoy it, make things happen, and, you know, have fun.
True. Very true.
Then you know when a guy ran for 300 miles with an axe on the side of the head and dies after telling the master 5 seconds right. And he's just like
yeah. Blah, blah, blah.
You got the blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I'm out.
And then the music would come in. Oh, man. Yeah. He said they killed Lupin. They have all the old school karate flicks on Tubi, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, there's another outlet, too.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Oh, I would go to those Baptist churches. It'd be the only white dude, just like in Jamaican restaurants. Take the curry goat, Knoxdale. Actually, in the South, there's a lot of white Baptist churches, though, too. So, but they have like the tent revivals at theirs. So it's kind of like you ever watch that old show like HBO Carnival where they had the tent revivals? They still do that stuff down there as well. So,
oh yeah.
But as a kid, you know, I would see some stuff and it'd be like, oh, this is the second Baptist, this is the first Baptist, and it's like they're all Baptists. Well, they'd be all in the same thing, and they'd have them all separated and stuff. So
it's funny Gilbert mentioned Jamaican restaurants because that's so true. Like when we went down, it was like maybe a handful of white people there. That was it. It was just like me and Shannon and a couple other people were like, oh.
I never. It's funny. One of the reaction channel. You know, I got the reaction channel. I do the reactions on now. One of the guys I did a reaction on, his name is Kamikaze, and I did his Fire in the Booth on Charlie Sloth. If you get a chance, check it out. Because I was like funny when I was doing a reaction to it. Because this dude's voice, he's a white guy that's doing the hip hop on here, and I'm like, hold up, like he had to like
there ain't no way
somewhere around Jamaica. Like, how's he have such a good Jamaican? Like he had to have grown up somewhere in that neighborhood.
Really? Oh, really?
He sounds like he's totally Jamaican on there. It's
wow!
Like, it's crazy. It's just like, and I just started like the voice is getting me. It's like I haven't been as surprised since Rick Astley came out of the video, and I didn't know he was a white guy with a red hair. Like it's just one of those things that blows your mind.
Kind of like the blonde stouts, just kind of a mind fuck.
Like what just happened? What just happened?
Yeah, what is going on here?
Oh man, I still think Rick Astley was lip syncing. I'm just saying.
He was the original Milli Vanilli.
Yeah. We're gonna give you what? Him?
Yeah. Wait. No. Wait. What?
No way. I don't believe that. The kid with the name Miss Me Out of the Sewer with an ass. That was like, damn. Yeah. I know that was on YouTube as well. Those white Baptists are fucking staying away. Yeah. You're right, Gilbert. Go to the Black Baptist, not the White Baptist. The Pentecostals, I think, are the ones that in their church where they have like the. My buddy, his wife was Pentecostal. He's always joke like, aren't like the one they reach in the bag with the snake or whatever. Like, we don't do that anymore.
That's what I was going to say. Get some white crazy lady just running down the aisle, was spitting out some kind of gibberish or whatever. And you're like, what the hell is going on here?
Dude, I grew up going to Catholic school for like the first 6 grades, Catholic church. And we go to Catholic church, we go to communion, we go to mass, we do all that stuff. And then we ended up moving. So then I ended up going to church with my mom, who was Baptist. Let me tell you, you can't go your first 6 years in the Catholic church where everybody sits there. It's a half-hour service. Priest talks, you respond, amen, blah, blah. You get down in the pew, you kneel down, you say whatever prayer, get up. There's a little choir singing over here. Oh, yeah, they're doing their little thing. End of the day, you're out half an hour. You go to a Baptist church, it was like, they didn't start on time. So you're there like waiting for people to show up. And then you get in there and they're going through it and people are yelling back at the preacher, which you're not, when you're young, I wasn't used to people yelling back. Like when the priest talked in the Catholic school, that was
right.
like,
Yeah.
People are yelling back. People are jumping up. People start dancing. People start. I was not. The first time I went, I just wasn't used to it. I was like, "What the heck is going on here?" Like I was all confused. But
like, shit, somebody's gonna be in trouble talking to the preacher like that. What's going on?
and then if you're lucky, you'll catch somebody talking in tongues, which will shock the hell out of you the first time because it's like jibba 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 jabba jibba. Like it was like yabba dabba do. I don't know where we're going with this. I don't know what this person is actually saying right now. So it took me a while to get accustomed to the whole Baptist thing, but and then later on, I was just going to like a church where it's like we don't even know what you are. We just throw you all together. It's not denominational. It's just everybody just goes. Everybody goes to the same Jesus. Yeah,
you're right. Yeah.
But then I started having questions about the whole thing. Nobody can answer questions, which kind of led me to where I'm at now. It's kind of being like an atheist type thing. But it was just funny. The whole experience. It was just.
That's kind of where I am.
It was interesting just going through and seeing the different things, and it's kind of like, it's funny to me sometimes when there are people that actually go, they don't even read the Bible. Like, well, when the Bible says this or it says that, and they're like, well, does it really? Like, I don't know. I had one friend, she was a Catholic when we were talking about it at work, and she was just like, I just go by what the priest says. So I'm like, see, that's what happens.
That's the problem. Yeah.
That's why the Catholic Church is in trouble now. Nobody questions the priest, and they get away with shit.
They're like, well, I'm like God, I guess, sort of.
Yeah.
Who knows? Why do you know? I don't know.
But time-wise, Catholic Church was the way to go. In and out, half an hour. Shoot. You were back home for breakfast in time for the game. You were good to go.
Except for
you were racing down the road, hoping to try to catch kickoff.
Now, I feel like it's kind of vice versa if you're talking about weddings. You go to like a Catholic wedding, you were there for hours.
Yeah,
but felt like
as an adult, you got to love a Catholic wedding because the alcohol is flowing.
Well, I always thought it was like, if you're going to be in some religion, why not be Catholic? Because you just go and say your piece with the minister or whatever, and we'd be done with it. With the priest, you'd be like, okay, I'm good. And gamble and drink alcohol, whatever the hell you want. Eat fish on Fridays, whatever. Like, yeah, I can get down with that. When
you go to the festivals and the festivals have alcohol, and like, well, even when when you learn as a kid, it's like the whole thing where you go to confessional. It's like, oh, you just go in there and confess your sins and you're forgiven and you go about your day. Or like, what? Is that easy? Like, you go in there,
right.
Tell this one guy who's on the other side of the window what happened, and you move on. It was like, it doesn't seem like it should be that easy.
That's what I thought. That's what I always thought. There was like, there's got to be a catch to this. What's the catch to this? So my mom was Catholic, but I never really grew up in like a church going family. Like my dad never went to church. We never went to church at all, period. Because it was kind of one of those things like, if I can't go all the time, I'm not going on Easter time, I'm not going at Christmas time. We're just not going to go, period.
Just for like an appearance type
thing. Yeah.
So
when Shannon's mom first got sick, she's like, she wanted to start going to church. And I was like, even then, I was always kind of thought it was kind of weird, sort of, kind of like, I don't know if I agree with that, but I'll go just because. And it was okay. I mean, it was fine. Yeah. It was kind of like it was more of like they had a nice band and whatever, and he would say his passages, scriptures and stuff, and then you go home. And it was okay.
Like a little bit of a self-healing and stuff. Yeah,
it kind of was in a sense. Yeah, I'm like, okay, I can see why people might be behind this, but I'm kind of like you. I'm like, you still can't answer a lot of the questions that I have. So
they hate when you call them out on that Jonah in the well.
Yes.
So you tell me Jonah spent a week inside the well and the acid didn't get him from the well's belly? They don't like that question.
Like at some point, science has to come into play there, just a little bit, maybe. I don't know.
Like, do you know what acid can do to you? Something in your stomach? I mean, shit, it dissolves Coke, and Coke fucking cleans out car engines,
So then the question is like, so is it a superhero? Are you saying superheroes are real now? What's going on here?
It opens up a whole bunch of questions there, like, go play.
Yeah, go to the other room. Get out of here.
That kid's too smart for his own good. Yeah. Let me see here. The kid with the good. Yeah, we heard that. Golden hands. Snakes. Yeah, snakes. So that I think that was the Pentecostal one. Yeah. Gonna get Rod J. YouTube canceled again. No. Although last week in episode it gave me like limited distribution or something that said like when you do a show sometimes it'll say like limited like for advertising like I had to send a thing over to them to have an actual person review it. I'm like no other crazy shit that we don't say every week. So
right, yeah.
Then they cleared it or whatever. And it's like, dude.
Like all of a sudden
you can't cancel Rod J. I mean, I would love to be on the same level as Dave Chappelle, but I'm not there.
Yeah.
Says someone's in trouble for talking to the preacher like the right. Yeah, see somebody else. Oh shit. Speaking of YouTube, the farting preacher clips are too damn funny. I haven't seen that one, Reverend Tilton. Oh, no, did you watch Pastor Kearney on YouTube? You'll fish yourself. The one that Blake had, the one with the coronavirus one he shares sometimes with the one guy. I can't remember the preacher's name. He's a little white guy, black hair. Or
wait, I gotta look that one up now. Pastor Kearney, so I don't forget, so I can watch that one later.
And he's like, I blow you away, Corona. And it's like this whole video. It's just like, you can't blow away COVID. I'm like, what are you thinking? Oh, that's the guy who does the Street Fighter fireballs and knocks down the congregation. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, Benny Hinn. That's the other guy. Isn't Benny Hinn the one that touches your forehead and people fall down?
Yeah. They'll come up on stage like, oh, phew, like blows on and shit, and he just fall back. Oh, I've been saved. Yeah. Until you go home and you're like, God damn, my arm still hurts. He didn't help me for shit. I gave him $10,000 for nothing. In the meantime, him and his when he the one that had like the wife looked like Tammy Faye. No, it was Tammy Faye.
Well, that was Jim Baker.
Jim Baker, Tammy Faye. Like
yeah, they made out like bandits. Oh yeah, Benny Hinn. Yeah, those spell right. We know who it is though. Yeah, Catlock. School turned into a fire-breathing atheist for sure. Yeah, the one Creflo Dollar, that was another one. They used to do stuff. It's like send me your money and blah blah. But it's just like what's the one that smiles all the time? Joel Osteen.
Yeah.
I remember when they went after him because when they had the hurricanes out of Texas, he closed his church off.
Yeah, right. He's like, yeah, I got a $10 million home, but ain't none of you all some bitches coming in here and putting your footprints on my floors. In the meantime, he's like, please donate. My electric bills due. I need some money.
Oh, funny indeed, yeah. Working with to piss myself. It's just funny when you see that kind of stuff there. But yeah, for me, first time I went, it was just like it was kind of an experience because I wasn't used to it. I didn't, know what to expect as far as I'm expecting them. I'm ready to get up in half an hour and leave, and he's like, "We're not even to the first part of the first song yet."
Like, whoa, boy, where you going? Yeah. Sit back down.
And then when you get the song and then the singing, oh my gosh, it's like we're gonna have Sister Doris up to sing, blah blah blah. Sister Doris is like she's doing a show at the Apollo. She's hitting every note as high as she can get. She's stretching out words that shouldn't be stretched, and it's like Sister Doris need to sit down now.
It was like a 2-minute song turned into 10 minutes just because it exaggerating all the words. Like,
And I wouldn't even get started on the collection plates. So the plates, they got collection plates going around like it's freaking disc golf taking place. It's just like plate here, plate there, plate here.
Yeah.
And people are like, don't put in that plate. Wait to the next one. Like,
you
guys know. You know which plate to actually do. Like, there's a whole system.
Right.
Like, yeah, you don't want to do that plate. Do the plate over here. Like, what? These people don't need anything in this plate?
Kind of thinking, then it all go to the same place or no? I'm not sure what you're doing. What are you talking about here?
Ooh. And then when you don't put something in the plate, people like look over like, I'm looking at me. Preacher's up there, eyes forward.
Right, look ahead. Nothing to see here. Look ahead.
It's like, yeah, no. But I tell you what, Sunday dress, some people will. There's some fashion style. You see some styles, especially Easter.
Oh, no doubt.
Easter's like a fashion show at some churches. It's just like you're ready to go down the Soul Train line because you're looking good.
Get the booty shake going on. Like, yeah. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, it's a church can be an experience for sure.
I always thought it was like you sit in church and you're like, oh, donate 10% of your salary. Yeah. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
What do you, here's automatically? What do you mean? What are you talking about? No, I don't think so.
There's some churches too, dude. They would like, hey, we can't have the funeral for so-and-so because she didn't donate enough. Like, you guys actually catalog how much people are donating? Like,
right, yeah.
But one thing that you'll have too, I have to say black churches versus white churches. Like, I've never been in a white church and they're like, oh, we got guests. And they make guests stand up and introduce themselves. Black churches, it's like, oh, we got guests. And people look all turn.
Who's that? Where they come from?
I know this is like some type of mixer. I gotta stand up now and give my background, why I'm here, who I'm with, what set I'm claiming. I mean, I don't know what's going on right now. Yeah.
What's your height? What's your age? What's your sign? What are you doing? What's your occupation?
Yeah. It's like, wow, okay. But that was something interesting too. But
like, am I going to church or am I signing up for a dating site? I'm not sure what I'm doing here.
It's like, you go to white church for mass, you just come in, you can get in an easy back pew, just sit there and enjoy the service. But nope, they got to sing. They call. You look on the program, call out visitors right down here.
You're like, no, I've been here before. I'm not visiting. I've been here before. What are you talking about?
You don't know me? Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. Here, Gilbert said, I'm Protestant. We go for breakfast instead for the teen cakes. I hear you're out. I heard ladies in for church for dinner. Yeah, my mom pissed me off on Sunday sometimes. I had to go twice on Sunday. I missed a ton of football. Well, in a lot of the black religious families too, it wasn't just like church on Sunday. Depending on how religious the parents were. Luckily, my mom was never to that level, but like a girl I dated in high school, her mom was like church on Wednesdays. Then they had like choir or Bible type thing on a Tuesday. Regular church was on Sunday. It's like you spend like 4 to 5 days at church, So it's
like a part-time job.
Yeah, I was like, that's way too much for me. I mean, But her mom was like, idle hands, get in trouble or something. She was just like one of those parents that put her kids into it. Like, I'll catch you later because I ain't going.
See ya.
Baseball, football, and TV in the basement as well. Well, you get that with the Catholic and you get that with the Protestant church too. Like, you try to get a TV at a Baptist church, oh, they will call you out. Like, you in the basement right now with a TV. Like, yeah, you don't want to do that there. Yeah. But Catholic church, Notre Dame's on. Well, Notre Dame's on, so we're good. Go ahead, Priest wouldn't be happy, but he'd be like, well, what's the score?
He's playing for the Lord. They're playing for the Lord. What's the score?
Oh, it's so true. Yeah, I love it when they have you come up with the envelope, all powerful. We can't make some money, right? Yeah. Oh, I eat fish on Thursdays, son. You would get the head turn. And Dee Dee knows when it was that visitor time, and it'd be like, you go to church, there'd be a spot on that pamphlet for visitors, and people would look over it because they would know. When you would come in and didn't know you, they'd be looking at you, checking you out.
And be like hitting the person next to you. Who's that? Who's that over there? What is that? What are they doing? What are they doing here? Where are they at? Where they live at?
And you get the program, and you look down there, and you're like, oh shit, there's the visitor part.
Visitor.
Yeah. So that was some of the fun for my church going days along those lines. But yeah, it's definitely different experiences. But you go to communion with a Catholic school when you were a kid, they get a little wafer, it's supposed to be like the body of Jesus. It hit at the right time. You'd be like trying to get more than one. Like, can I get another?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
I haven't even had lunch yet.
You gonna eat that?
You telling me I can get too much Jesus? Is that what you're telling me? I can get too much Jesus?
You're right. Yeah, that's the message I'm getting right now.
Give me some more of that grape juice too. Oh, what is up, Samson? Cheers! It's been a while, homie. How you been doing? Love you guys. Cheers back at you, bro. Yeah, we're here cracking jokes and stuff now, but talking about our church going experiences when we were younger. It was interesting. And, but I never knock church because I know church helps a lot of people, and it's about what gets you through life and everything. So, church is your thing. That's always cool. I got a lot of friends that are in the church. My mother-in-law is like really good friends with TD Jakes and stuff like that. But it's just you have to find your own path, But I feel like
to each his own,
To each his own. But I feel like you can have fun with a lot of things. I have fun about it and stuff like that. So nobody take it personally like that. But it's just it is what it is. We all find our path and stuff.
Right.
But no, but it was interesting. It was interesting when we did actually go through and, like I said, just the quirks between the different style of churches and how stuff was actually done, and the whole thing like about the Black Baptists and like the white Baptists. I think Black Baptists were saying like you weren't supposed to drink or whatever, but like you knew people that drank that went to church. Like you've seen like places where they drink and stuff like that, but you're not supposed to drink. It's like there was no confessional, so you carry it your whole life. There's no confession. You don't have that 5 minutes to tell the priest what you did.
Yeah, the bad thing was you knew there was probably some out in the car drinking some before they went into the service that morning,
Yeah. Yeah, about to go into church. Let me go ahead and do this real quick.
Yeah. We're going to swig.
Let me go ahead and get that before Sister Doris gets up there and starts singing. So. Oh, man. It's just funny, but you got to laugh at life. If you don't laugh at life, you definitely go crazy. So
that's for sure.
Watching some of the stuff I working earlier today with the January 6th stuff taking place, the congressional hearings, and it's just like, what the like. Like how you fire the assistant general like through text messages to try to replace him. You don't even tell him. Like he's like watching the ESPN ticker, and it's like, oh, you like Craig, you lost your job. I'm not even working today.
You lose your job on your day off.
He made the assistant general like Craig from Friday. Like, that's cold blooded. He didn't even call you or tell you.
You got fired on your day off.
I was like, I always knew Trump was gangster in New Jersey, but he was a gangster in the White House. It was just like, wow, like just way you did some of that stuff. Like
you see the scroll across the ticker on the bottom, like so and so lost their job. Like, oh shit, I got fired. I didn't even know it. What are you talking about? Send a text message like, do I not have a job no more? Nope, you're gone. Sorry.
Finding out shit on Twitter.
Well, I guess I was gonna quit it. I was gonna quit anyway.
Go to the office and your key card don't work. It's like,
you're right.
Can't get in.
You're like, damn it. I guess I'll go back home.
Like, somebody get me maintenance on the line. Oh, your car's not in the system anymore.
Yes, it's been deactivated. What do you mean?
So they had some video of me taking some shit. Waker's even funny. I took my great grandmother to one and she got a tick off and it says, boy, she aged and looks so nice.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta write the attendance book and we're in the wrong Paul or she's not related to us. We laugh. It's the beautiful lifestyle church downtown with all the important people, like some rich yeah, just you're basically funeral crashing like his wedding crashers. Yeah, well, funerals are a totally different thing. You go to funerals and it's like, well, one, funerals between the white community and the black community is like, we're gonna have a funeral, so and so died today, funerals, Saturday. Died Thursday, funeral Saturday, wake Saturday, funeral Saturday afternoon or whatever. Black is like, oh, it's gonna be like 2 weeks. Like 2 weeks. Like
what do you mean 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's like you get a good chance to grieve and then you go to this funeral, and that's another service that's totally different too, and how the pre-service is there for a funeral versus a preacher service for that. I mean, yeah, that can be a little crazy. But just don't be the one to be like, take me with you, like go in a casket type thing.
Climb inside, bear hug, and like, what? Close it, just close it. Send me with them.
Oh, but funerals are a sad thing, but we all go to them at some point too. But it's I just like seeing the differences between stuff. I find the differences in themselves be kind of amusing, just between, I say amusing, maybe humorous or whatever, maybe, or whatever the right word would be. I just like the differences in between how things are actually done. It's just funny, interesting.
Yeah. So when my dad passed away, he was cremated.
Mm-hmm.
So when they had the service or the funeral home, he wasn't in a casket like most of the time. Where the last comment was like, I look so old, like, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Because I always hate that. I always kind of like, the person never looks like the person you ever remember. Like they try to make them as good as they could be, but still now, even though it's like it was my dad's funeral visitation, whatever, like it was still one of the best. It actually was more like a celebration of life. What it's supposed to kind of be about.
Yeah.
Like he had he was a big Elvis fan, so we had Elvis playing in the background, and up where the urn was, he had like a can. He was a big Miller Lite drinker, so we had a can of Miller Lite, like horseshoes. Had the horseshoe up there. He was a big Yankees fan, so we had the hat up there.
That's
it was
cool.
just kind of, and it was cool, yeah. And everybody was just kind of, it was more like a celebration of life, of kind of what it should be, It wasn't like the old sappy kind of like, talking bullshit about somebody you don't even really know anyway.
Well, I think about the celebration of life, like what you did with your dad there, which is awesome. And I think about some of the other celebration of life things I've seen, like, and I'm like, is that real or is that like a parody? Like I've seen celebration of life in some things, and they'll have like the person like, up here like leaned against something sometimes, like with sunglasses on. I'm like, this isn't Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, right.
Like this is a dead person. Like you got him propped up here, like you going into the club. That ain't right. Just like
right. Like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
But yeah, with the celebration of life, the take me with you, churches don't do funerals here anymore. They went to weddings. Yeah, we a lot of times here in the States, like mostly the funeral homes do it, but they'll have like a priest or a preacher there will talk and stuff. But
right,
yes, well, I say in the Catholic Church there's funerals and stuff that we see. And I think some of the Baptist churches can do them. I just think funeral homes are more convenient for a lot of people.
I feel like most of the deaths that I've gone to, whatever, has been at the funeral home.
Yeah. Nowadays, yeah.
The only one I can think of was back, I don't know, in 2010. No, 2000. In 2000, not 2010, right. 2000. When my cousin and her kids were killed.
Oh,
and they had it at the church then because there were so many people that went.
Right.
That's the only one I can think of offhand that I've ever been to that's actually been at an actual like church or whatever instead of the funeral home.
I'm trying to think. Last time I had went to one, I think it was pretty much the same. The last one I went to was kind of that. Where was it? At a church. It was like at a funeral home that they had everything there. So I just think it's more people do that now because I think it might be. I don't know if it's more convenient or if I know churches have gone down, so sometimes that might be a part of it too, or that maybe people are just doing it there because they're not involved in the churches.
When I love the funeral home, some of the side rooms almost kind of look like a church inside. Have like the pews and stuff where you just go in and sit down or whatever. It's kind of like a kill two birds with one stone kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too. They talk about like a wake. It's like I don't think in a wake I think I've ever been to was like a Catholic wake where you have even alcohol there. It's just like everybody's like food and alcohol and it's like you're there morning, but you can get lit at a wake.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That was the best ceremony I've ever been to. Really? He's still dead, right? Yeah, but it was great.
Oh man. Everyone comes to the house and eats all the food in case of furniture and cookware. Well, after the funerals where you really have like some of that stuff. Like I've actually seen where some people have to lock stuff up because families can be crazy after funerals. Like, they all like, well, I went to silver plateware or I went this and they're like, they're not even in the ground yet and you guys are trying to take stuff already.
You definitely get a lot of true colors in that time for sure. Yeah. Out of people that you would never even think of about things where you're just like, really?
Yeah.
That's the first thing you're thinking about all, the day of or the day after, like.
And let there be something where somebody was left out as a beneficiary on a life policy or something. Oh man. Woo. That's when it gets crazy there. Or if one sibling is in charge of it for the other siblings. Like, why are they in charge? Blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah, you see real true colors come out.
You're right. Yeah. Really quick.
Didi said, I got the Isaac Hayes album. Well, there you go. Get the Isaac Hayes. You can Google the church, Simcoe Street United. There was a biker pool across the street. I would play there during Sunday afternoons. Walk from the church over to the biker hall. No, but it's kind of interesting to see what's going to happen now. I don't know if you saw, but there was a thing up in Maine with the Catholic school, I guess, whatever. They were basically got a judgment that if the state gives money to the public school, they have to give it to the Catholic school as well. So now it's reunited the whole church separation of state across.
Oh, really?
It's going to be interesting. And so, as I posted my thing earlier, it's like, well, if you're going to get that, then guess what? You guys should be taxed too. So if you're going to do this, then it's about time to lose that tax. Which really, a lot of churches probably could lose a tax status and still be okay. It's always funny though, like how broke some of the churches seem to be. The Catholic Church is pretty fucking rich,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they're sitting at the top of the mafia totem pole there. I think everybody's to kick up. Pope rolling around in gold buggies.
They're only broke when it benefits them to be broke.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like growing up, seeing like some of the preachers driving around in a brand new Escalade. I'm like, I thought you're supposed to be living a meek life.
Yeah, right.
Like you about to go to the club too. Like you don't look like you living a new life there with new Escalade and new rims and leather seats with the massager and the warmer and all that kind of stuff. What you doing in that thing anyway?
I'd be like Joel Osteen living in a $10 million rent mansion. Like, really?
Right.
Damn, I got the wrong occupation there.
Yeah. The preacher, man. The last church funeral I was at was at my great uncle Dave's, and it was about 2000, 2001. He was old as dirt and made a great spring lamb stew. What's spring lamb? Oh, spring lamb stew. Okay. Yeah, he's having trouble typing tonight. might be the
beer's kicking in, maybe. It happens.
Yeah, but I mean, it's it is what it is. But it'll be interesting to see some of this other stuff. I've got some crazy stuff happening right now in the country, so it's kind of like keeping an eye on some of that stuff there. I mean, people shut up at people's houses and all kinds of shit. It's just like
all across the world is this craziness.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, COVID might have came to keep people's asses inside. It's just like
kidding.
Nature said enough. Nobody leaves the house.
Just stay put. Don't leave. Just stay where you're at.
My God, that Uvalde thing every day is fucking worse than the day before with that police force down there. It's like they came out yesterday. They were in the hall for like 58 minutes or whatever they said now. How can you be a police officer in the hall for that long, hearing this guy shoot the gun off, hearing kids scream for help, and do nothing?
Right, just sit there.
I know. Baffles my mind.
Kind of goes against everything you kind of sworn in to do when you become that, right?
Yeah.
You would think anyway.
And it's like this chief was trying to like fight, I guess, being put on leave, or the city put him on leave. But it's like, I don't even know how you can even get justice for that whole type of thing. It's just like, there's nothing, you can't do anything to bring those kids back. You can't even bring the teachers back. You can't technically have a justice type thing. Obviously, the guy going to prison or being in Texas, he might get the chair or whatever it may get down there. But it's kind of like there were so many steps that could have been done. And to be that those officers, you have to wonder what's going through their head right now, because that has to be something that sticks with them as well.
I would think so. I mean, I don't know how it couldn't,
unless they had no conscience about it or something like that. It was just every day it's like something else comes out from there, and I'm like, it's just terrible. And now we just had New York just went to allowing people. The Supreme Court just kicked down where people can carry concealed guns. Which I'm not a person against guns. I have no problem with guns themselves, but I'm like, I look at stuff like, so you got people carrying concealed weapons now, which in case of self-defense is a good thing, but like, what are you gonna do when a crazy person that gets in a bar fight? Or someone sees their ex-girlfriend with a guy they don't like or some weird type. He's like, I don't know. This will be interesting.
I think starting in July, you don't have to have a permit to carry a concealed weapon. You don't have to have a permit for that at all. I don't think it's starting in July here. So
that's kind of like how Kentucky was before we left there too. But it's
okay.
It's like
it's almost kind of turned back into like the old West, back in the old days.
Going back to the West type thing, and I'm like, again, it's just more of a concern of some of the stuff that's happening out, but it's. I don't know. So, like
and maybe it's not a bad thing. I don't know. Maybe,
If I was a religious person, I'd have some questions like, are we at the end of times? Let me check Revelations real quick.
Right. What page was this on?
Yeah. I feel like I'm hearing some familiar stuff taking place here. Yeah. It's
Right.
Yeah. So, it's just some interesting stuff that's happening right now. So we'll see. But every time I see that story, I'm just like, wow, that just baffles my mind. Like, what were you guys thinking down there? Obviously, I don't think.
Apparently nothing. Yeah, right. Exactly. Apparently nothing.
Who dresses like the Pope pimps? They have hats, capes, canes, and collars. And and then roll in a fancy car. So
Very true, Double D. Very true.
Pope is the pimp of the Catholic Church. Is that what you're saying? And he
I
asked for
think
money.
so.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Pope is the mafia pimp. Yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting, but I think we're going to wrap up for tonight here. Anything else you want to add? I feel like we kind of kicked it. And had some
Yeah,
good beers and had some fun.
I don't know. I have nothing else to add to that. I better not, or it might strike me down.
It's all good though. We have fun. We enjoy. We just kick whatever we're thinking. None of this stuff is ever planned. We kind of get into different things and have fun. For those of you that tuned in that haven't seen us before, like what do they talk? Well, we drink some beers. We talk some back on Thursday with you guys and just kind of kick it there. And
I mean, like you said earlier, what can you do if you can't have fun? Then what's the point? You know?
Yeah. I mean,
or make fun to a certain extent, make light of things, sort of. You know, it's like
I kind of think if you don't have fun, for a lot of people, I think they would literally go crazy because I think there's some things you have to be able to laugh about and be able to.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Get a release because if you keep that all in, it binds you and it wraps you too tight. So, stuff that we've said here, we have a good time, we have fun, we just kind of kick it there, and never take anything too personal. It's funny.
You're right. Yeah, nothing personal.
Yeah, it's like I was reading a piece this week by Rowan Atkinson that had been asked a question, and for those that know Rowan Atkinson, he does Mr. Bean, and he was talking about comedy, and they were talking about he's like, the whole thing with the whole cancel type thing. People are trying to cancel with this, but really, like, you can't have comedy if you're too busy, if you're worried about canceling people, because any joke is actually making fun of something.
Right. That is true.
Something's always being offended somewhere, but that's the whole thing with comedy, is to make light of that. So you can't have that without an offense type thing. And I just feel like there's times where you just need to lighten up and not take it seriously. If we tell, like I was on JV's thing one time, we were talking about just kind of like the little religious joke, and one of the people were upset because they were Catholic. Like, you can't be wound so tight, you can't take a joke at times either, and it's not like, there's not a history of stuff out there the Catholic Church has done wrong. It's just, it is. So, to deal with some of the stuff there, you have to have a release as well before you can move forward. So, as you go through dealing with stuff, sometimes you have to find that little thing where you can have that laugh and that release. And that's what we try to do.
Have a release of things. Yeah.
Thursday nights when we're here, we talk about a lot of stuff. We say a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, it's all about having that laugh with you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoy, which I think you guys do. So,
yeah. It's all light and good natured,
Yeah. And
no intent. No intent. No intent.
Yeah. We enjoy good beer. So that being said, we'll go ahead and get wrapped up here. Tomorrow, catch the review of the Optimum. That'll be at 12:15, Sierra Nevada. More stuff next week, and then we'll look forward to catching up with you guys soon. Gilbert said good night, fools, and Uncle Steve,
Gilbert,
the lamb farmer, and a bully. If you didn't stand up for yourself with him, he would taunt you until you would snap. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. So that coming to play. And later, fellas, see you in the next one. Indeed.
Double D.
Oh, you have to watch Pastor Kenny. I'll have to put that down. Did you put Pastor Kearney down, Todd, as well, for you to check out?
I did. I got it in my search thing, so I could listen to it tomorrow.
Yeah. Gilbert said those depression era guys will make you tough, and for good reason. When times ain't good, you got to get the fuck up and get through it, son. Yeah, that's how it actually is and stuff. So, and Trez also says, good night, all. Have a great weekend. Indeed, everybody have a great weekend. And we will look forward to catching up with you guys next week, and if not before. So you never know. I may pop up live at some point during the weekend or something like that too. I know we talked about doing the question stuff on the weekend at times. So I don't know. We'll see.
Just never can tell.
Just never know. But thanks for everybody that tuned in, and we will look forward to catching up with you guys soon. Y'all have a good one. Cheers.
Have a good weekend.